December 2018, CROSSFIRE Stars begins a new fight. CFS 2018 will gather 24 top teams from 11 regions around the world in Taitung and Nanjing, China for Project S. December 4th to 6th, the group stage matches, the tournament stage quarterfinals, and semifinals will take place in Taitung. December the 8th, event matches for CROSSFIRE HD featuring top teams will be awaiting in Nanjing. December the 9th, the CROSSFIRE Legends tournament along with the CROSSFIRE final matches will determine the CFS 2018 World Champions. Guns are locked and loaded, and players are ready for an intense clash. CROSSFIRE Stars 2018, together in Taitung and Nanjing, China. Together, roaring with enthusiasm inside the arena of battle. Together, making history to become the true legend of CROSSFIRE.
Hello, my name is Grace. I'm from the European team for Intersports.
Tôi đến từ Việt Nam và in-game của tôi là Ali.
Hi, меня зовут Алексей.
Và vị trí tôi chơi trong team boss đó là tôi là leader và số năm tôi chơi là đã được 10 năm.
I'm the leader and the sniper of the team, and I've been playing this game for 9 years.
Мой старший брат показал мне эту игру. Так я начал играть. Все.
I think it was my brother who introduced me to the game. He showed me the game, and ever since I loved playing it.
Lần đầu tiên tôi tiếp xúc đó là ngày đầu tiên ra mắt game ở tại Việt Nam và cũng không giấu gì các bạn, Ali là một người rất là mê thể loại FPS.
I think it was in 2013 when I first heard of CFS, but the first 2 seasons I didn't qualify for it, and then in 2014 we finally managed to qualify for it, and this is where I first attended my first CFS.
Я играю в CROSSFIRE уже 8 лет, и из них играю 5 лет профессионально. Я являюсь капитаном команды ruLegends и также снайпером.
Con đường của Ali đến với chuyên nghiệp đó, Ali nghĩ đó là một cái duyên. Và cái duyên đó bắt đầu từ năm 2014 là cái chức mà Ali đạt được là Á quân thế giới CFS tổ chức ở tại Hàn Quốc. Rất cực kỳ là vinh dự, cực kỳ là hạnh phúc vì là
Чему я научился в CROSSFIRE, это тому, что как нужно играть в команде в первую очередь, как нужно взаимодействовать с тиммейтами и идти на компромиссы.
I think it changed me a lot, this game. It showed me how to win and how to lose and how to handle it if you lose. It showed me how to handle a team.
Thoạt đầu thì gần như là rất nhiều người không cho đó là một cái cách làm tốt vì họ còn quá nhiều ý kiến không tốt về game. Thì khoảng thời gian đó rất là khó khăn đối với Ali vì gần như là không có ai ủng hộ cả. Mãi sau này khi có những thành công, có những giải đấu và được mọi người công nhận đó là một môn thể thao điện tử thì như bây giờ thì Ali nghe đó là một kết quả xứng đáng.
I think the game itself improved a lot. I really love that CFS gets bigger every year. The tournament improves from year to year. The players and the teams got better. It's really nice to be here every time. I really love it.
Я желаю CROSSFIRE только становиться лучше и лучше, и желаю процветания этой игре.
Điều mà Ali muốn nghĩ nhiều nhất và muốn nói nhiều nhất đó là mong muốn CFS cũng như là Tencent sẽ tiếp tục xây dựng con game này càng phát triển để cho những game thủ chuyên nghiệp họ sẽ coi như đây là một công việc thật sự. Xin
Hello and welcome back. This is our last match here from VSPN Studios in Taichung before we head across to Nanjing for our finals on Saturday and on Sunday. But for now, it's one big best-of-3 semi-finals. No more Chinese teams left. A team from Russia, a team from Brazil. ruLegends up against INTZ. The pressure is on now, Kyle, for both of these teams. So much is at stake. Not only the opportunity to make your way through to the CFS 2018 Grand Final, but now you want to represent your region. You either want to do it because another team from your region has done it, or alternatively, you want to do it because, hey, let's get a European team in there as well.
Yeah, and for ruLegends, this has to be a big opportunity. The team that's always shut them down has always been from China, and now they're looking at a finals where they won't have to face that. That should be a big opportunity for them to say, hey, we can win this now.
Is that you need to take the chances as they're presented for you, and if all of a sudden something that might be your nemesis has been eliminated, this is your best shot, and for ruLegends, this could be it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for ruLegends, the really key thing about getting this match is going to be getting a strong start, to be completely honest. As long as they come into this, gun swinging and be able to pick up 2-3 rounds right to start, they're going to be feeling great. They will suffer from issues, though, if it's the opposite, and we see INTZ coming out of the gate strong as well. As unfortunately, it does seem like we see the Russians tending to fall behind just due to a lack of momentum, if that ends up being the way the matches go.
Yeah, it seems to take them a little bit of time sometimes to get going as well, so need to be careful of that. Heading into this, though, you can see the teams there preparing on stage, and, well, one of the most important days, I would suggest, of most of these players' lives. There is so much at stake. There are other things in your life that will be important, but right now, I suspect for them, everything they've prepared for, everything they've done here in CROSSFIRE comes down to this.
Yeah, and it's almost weird to think about, too. The team that loses, they play SV for their prize money, so that's a really hard match in store for a win or lose situation in this case. And honestly, looking at these two teams, it's going to be a very close one, but I have to give the side of emotion over to the Brazilian guys, who surely are pumped up after watching that last game.
Yeah, you'd be excited, wouldn't you, seeing, look, not only have we had a shot here, but our counterparts have already made it through. This is doable. If they can do it against a team like Super Valiant Gaming, surely we can do it against a team like ruLegends.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And not only that, but fighting for history once again as well. If you're going to be able to make it an all-Brazilian final, that's certainly something to write home about at the end of the day, whether you win or lose that grand final. And certainly an honor to be sure to see both of those teams make it through all the way into the grand finals and being able to represent both of you actually being able to represent your region at such a large stage.
Yeah, and to see that both of these teams as well have come through as the second seed in their group. They've had to play quite a number of games. They haven't had the easy way through. It wasn't a Q9 where they won one game and they got through. It wasn't literally every other number one seed who only had to play a couple. They played a number of games. It's been a pretty long week for them now, and it's the end of the day, and they've been here for a while. So between that and the pressure, and I suspect the emotion for INTZ of watching their countrymen take down one of the best teams in the world, there's going to be a lot going through for both of these teams. Obviously, a best of 3 here, Kyle. We're going to be able to remove 2 maps. What do you think that these teams will be doing today?
I'd say for the side of ruLegends, I would probably expect them to eliminate Subbase. I think they were the most shaky on that map from what they've played so far. However, it's definitely a situation where I think both teams actually might want that map out of the picture, because I don't think either one was overly successful on that front.
Yeah.
However, I think the long-range maps will favor ruLegends, so we could see a ban from INTZ coming from that perspective as well. After seeing the 10-0 on Black Widow, INTZ might say, hey, let's just get that map right away off the table. So
yeah, because ruLegends were the team who kicked off CFS 2018, weren't they? They came in a quick 10-0 over the team from Indonesia. So they did certainly set things off with a bang. What are you looking from them in this matchup, Blue?
I'm looking for them to do the same thing, really start off with a bang once again and be able to set 3-4 rounds on the board right at the start of the matchup. It's going to be a good confidence boost to those players. Like I was saying before, though, the opposite will happen if we end up seeing INTZ get off to a good start. We're going to start to see some of the players on ruLegends tilt a little bit, and that's going to be bad for them, as you need to keep momentum swinging in this game in your favor constantly, or you'll end up in a very bad situation individually, as we've seen for quite a few individual players, even in that last semifinal as well. Guys like N9, who are incredibly impactful to the team's victories previously in the tournament, really dropped off a cliff like in that last map, and unfortunately that might have been one of the things that allowed for the other Brazilian team to sneak through.
If we go back and we take a look at who these teams played in their quarterfinals this morning, obviously INTZ took down Carbon, whilst ruLegends took down All Gamers. on the balance there, you have to say, surely All Gamers was the more difficult task. As much as I want to give Carbon credit for how they played this week, All Gamers, one of the top teams in the world, one of the top teams in China. That was a difficult task, and surely if ruLegends can take them down, a team from Brazil, that's definitely a task that should sit underneath that. It shouldn't be as hard.
Yeah, and considering AG's position to potentially make the finals, they were sort of the favorite of this half of the bracket to pull through and do that, but ruLegends, they shut them down immediately, and now they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders, though INTZ, if I wouldn't have seen Black Dragons just pull that off, I would have said they're probably going to fall in this situation, but because of that emotional boost, I think this is going to be a very intense and close game.
Yeah, we've seen how much emotion plays a part here at CFS. We've seen these teams on stage all week long. Every time they lose, are they down about it? Do they feel out about it? Have they lost a few rounds in a row? Who's on the team that's the order? Who's leading them? Who brings them back together? We've seen leaders like Seven really pull their sides together when they need to, even though they may not make it through in the end. It's so very, very important here. So whatever happens, I want to see both these teams come through with their absolute best. I'm sure they're ready to show that to us today. In terms of results, what do you think, Kyle?
I'd have to say I'm going to go 2-1 in favor of ruLegends here. I think even with emotions on their side, INTZ does have some noticeable weaknesses, and I think ruLegends, after that win over AG, they're just going to have so much confidence, feeling this team is almost a little bit below that going into this match. So I think for ruLegends, though, it's really just about keeping their composure when things don't necessarily go the way they plan. They're a team that always wears their emotion on their sleeve, and I think if they let that get to them too early, this one could go against them just as easily. So for them, if they can keep the composure, I think they can take this one 2-1.
How are you feeling, Blue? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I'm also swinging the way of ruLegends. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the maps and the way those are going to play out just yet, so I'm unsure if it's going to be 2-1 or 2-0. But I do think at the end of the day, obviously we saw a much closer affair from them in their matchup versus All Gamers. So we've got the Brazilian celebration going on.
Yeah. Hey, it's worked so far, right?
Yeah, I know, right? It seems to have been pushing them through all the time. But anyway, back to the point. For ruLegends, I think they took on a much tougher opponent earlier, and I think that's going to end up being the thing that shines through that a lot of people aren't really, accounting for going into this matchup versus INTZ. Alternatively, though, INTZ, they had a really, really strong group stage. They really came out of the gate swinging when no one really expected them to. So there's just as strong of a chance we could see INTZ come out of this one as well.
Kyle, our expert analyst, has correctly predicted both bands coming out. Black Widow for INTZ and Subbase for ruLegends. That sees Ankara being the first randomized map that we will play, shortly followed up by Port, which then leaves Mexico as the decider once again. So this will be interesting. We know our maps. 2-1, you've settled on that, sounds good. You've also said that you feel that ruLegends are going to be the team to beat here. I honestly don't know. I want to side with Kyle when he says INTZ are going to use the passion of their countrymen making it through. At the same time, ruLegends has had such a great run so far. I think I have to side with INTZ if I'm going to flip a coin. I'm ready for that Brazil versus Brazil match in the grand final. I'm ready to see the passion. I'm ready for the Brazilian fans screaming in Portuguese. It's a shame. I suspect there's not going to be very many out here, but back at home in Brazil, that'll be a different story. Viewing parties around as well. It's going to be a great thing to see if that's the case, but it all comes down to this. 3 maps. INTZ up against ruLegends. A ton of money on the line, and of course, a chance to be in the grand final of CFS 2018. Let's get into the action.
And we are going to be going on to our first map of Ankara right now, ladies and gentlemen. ruLegends with a chance to break through and set up a great grand final for themselves up against the Black Dragons, and for INTZ, a whole lot more than that on the line. A chance to go up against their Brazilian brothers from the other side of the bracket and make our grand final an all-Brazil final. We already have a lack of Chinese teams for the first time in CFS history, and we'll see if INTZ can make history one more time by making it an all-Brazilian grand final. Well, it's going to have to wait a few moments, unfortunately, as it does look like a few of the players from INTZ are having a tech issue, so we had them drop out of the server. Shouldn't be too much of an issue to have them reconnect, though.
Yeah, and going into this one, looking at now with the maps selected here, I actually think INTZ is a little bit better off in this order of the maps, because Ankara would be, out of these 3 maps, the one I expect them to actually do the best on, considering how they've played so far. Whereas I think ruLegends is going to struggle here, especially if they're going to be on the attack first, which we did see that they're going to be. So I think really for ruLegends, they're going to have a really aggressive but strong start here if they want to take this first map. And as we've seen, the Brazilian scene pretty confident on this map, but they did have a falter on the side of Black Dragons in the way they defended it. So maybe there will be ways to exploit that for ruLegends looking at INTZ in this map.
Certainly going to be the case. And once again, guys, just a small technical issue here that we're working to sort out real fast with one of the teams. He dropped out well before we saw any action in the round, so it will be no issue whatsoever to just restart the game from the beginning of it as we work to get everyone back in and set up to restart that match. Still a very, very close affair, as we saw in our other semifinals, so do not go anywhere, as this one promises to be just as close, if not closer, due to what INTZ are now fighting for because of that result from the opening match.
And now we are going to be back into it here. ruLegends taking on INTZ, a best-of-3 semifinal to decide who will meet Black Dragons in the arena here over the weekend to decide the ultimate winner of CFS 2018. But right now, we're going to see a very early presence over towards this A bomb site coming out from ruLegends, trying to make their presence known, actually making a bit of noise here. It's going to be a nice test for INTZ, though, in this opening round, having already 3 players rotate now over towards this A bomb site. But Stray now going to be peeking out in mid for information.
Stray looking to start things off well for ruLegends. Not going to find much in the early opening seconds of that peak, however. The rest of the guys on ruLegends continue to sit back and play. Actually, no, they're going to rush right into the site, but it's a great crossfire setup from INTZ. Kills going all their direction. Treek, the only player able to really keep ruLegends in contention for this, is now going to be left as the last man standing as well. A 1v2 will be set against him, against the Kenny and NNM. I'll have to try and find a way to close this out. At minimum, he has the C4, so he's not going to have to work towards that mode. He doesn't realize both these players from INTZ just on the other side of the big box stack. However, they walk right into him. A quick opening arm shot to start things off. They'll try to close it out in the 1v2, but will just barely fall to a Kenny, giving the round over to INTZ instead.
Very close opening round there, but INTZ grab it and get the early lead in this series, but it's far from over here in this best-of-3. ruLegends now looking to answer back in round number 2, and again, we are going to see a lot of utility coming out from them to start off this round. This time, though, putting more focus over towards mid-control. Meanwhile, we do see a very forward play coming out from INTZ over towards the B-bomb site, getting control of this B hotel position, pushing very far forward, and making their presence known here. Meanwhile, ruLegends playing a bit more reserved, trying to get a feel for this map before they go into attack.
B hotel position established for INTZ, though it's a lot of intel for them to play off of, and a lot that they could potentially rotate upon as soon as they get a spot onto the push from ruLegends. ruLegends will continue to play it slowly, though, as the time ticks down for them. Still plenty of it, however. Just under 2 minutes. The round's only just begun. And they're going to continue to walk up slowly, mainly towards mid right now. Lined up for the play. They'll now work their way over towards the B connector. Quite a few players working their way inside in order to accomplish this. They wrap it back around, but decide not to commit to it for now. They'll fall back, continue the slow play.
A little bit of hesitation coming out here, but they're going to go ahead and wrap around, potentially to even still go B just from the long side of the map. It is going to be a full rotation here over towards B. They do leave Stray, though, to lurk here in the A connector and potentially catch some rotators off guard. But INTZ playing very forward on B. This could actually play into their advantage now, as ruLegends is going to run right into trouble here. Akemi going in for the support as well. NNM playing on the back of side here behind the double stack, just waiting for them to come out of this B hotel position. But right now, ruLegends running down this clock, waiting for the pressure to mount onto INTZ, but they're just so patient here that they're not going to compromise these positions by getting too overzealous.
Well, time is not a friend of ruLegends anymore here, as they only have 30 seconds remaining on the clock. INTZ has remained a rock on both the sites, and they are going to try once again to just burst themselves out from the connector and the middle portion of the map onto the site through the bridge. Opening shot from McKenny's actually missed, but Vinny is able to show up along with NNM to find some nice frags. Vase, in the meanwhile, the only pickup really for ruLegends, but it won't matter. Nice find from him at the very minimum. The wall bang to take out one more player, but he has no time left now. Is forced to go back over to try and pick up the C4, but he won't be able to do that if he stays behind this box. Time will run out soon, but it'll fall instead to STK to close out INTZ with a solid start at 2-0.
INTZ definitely in control of this match so far. ruLegends just not getting the openings they need. The site holds very, very strong from INTZ to start this one off. But ruLegends going for the quick attack here over towards the B bomb site. But NNM, he's ready, grabs the double kill. Treek able to find one, but it's not enough. Akemi takes down Vase, and it's already down to a 2v4. The bomb exposed as well. And Stray and Drace, they're going to be left to clean this one up.
A solid hold from INTZ once again, and this is what we were talking about before. ruLegends, and they get off to a poor start. Odds are it's going to stay poor for quite some time, so we need them to quickly recenter themselves and find a better way to approach these attacks. It's looking like they've already bowed down to INTZ on this round. Drace, of course, getting wall banged through the big doors when they were still making the play, brought him to just under 10 HP. Stray, the only one that can make a consistent play anymore, too, is jumping all around that map, trying to find himself into a good position to find some impact here. He'll get himself into a duel versus Kenny in a second. Has two on the outside, though, so he will not commit to the outside push, but it's STK that'll cut him off on the other side of the connector. If he just Drace on the arm, left alive, he'll be found out here by Pankata. Kind of a little bit slow to make that play, but it happens at the end of the day, and we'll see the quick third round put up on the board. For our second Brazilian roster looking to make it to the grand finals.
Definitely a map that I figured may be a struggle here for ruLegends, and it's definitely showing already with a 3-0 lead for INTZ. And this map does tend to be fairly attack-sided as well, so it's not looking too good for the Russians to start this one off, but there is still ample time to recover and get some rounds on the board of their own before this half's too far away from them. INTZ, though, just complete control over this map so far. This time around, though, ruLegends at least a chance to try and get some forward aggression going. Only one player on A as well, a gamble stack coming out from INTZ, only leaving the solo player of STK to hold off this A bomb site.
Gamble indeed from INTZ, but so far the gambles from them have been working out quite well. ruLegends, in the meanwhile, still solid as a rock, not wanting to try and push their position forward whatsoever at all. They are going to have to do that eventually now. The attacking side leaves them no room to sit back and play this passive play style. INTZ, they should realize by this point that INTZ are not going to play into that. They need to take the initiative. They need to be the ones to hunt for early frags in the round. And so far, they've not been doing that. They've been trying to force the issue in one conjoined push. And for the most part, INTZ have done a fantastic job of holding that off. The mid-play, ready to move out now from ruLegends. And Kenny moving into position to try and hold this from the window, but it's STK instead that finds the opening frag. Quick trades come in for ruLegends, but the same can be said for Vinny as he finds himself the double kill around the corner. A third may present itself at the window, and he'll find it. Beautiful stuff from Vinny as he finds his third frag on the round, leaving just Stray alone now. Will leap out of the window, get caught by NNM, and it is yet another round for INTZ, dominating on this opening map of the match.
Right now, ruLegends, they just have no way to enter in to any bomb site. Even with having that slight mid-control here, they were not able to execute properly from it. So they have to recover quickly now. Otherwise, INTZ could feel the motion and momentum that they need to take this one in a 2-0 sweep. If they're not careful, ruLegends have to begin that road to recovery here. And now Stray getting aggressive here in mid, almost catches Vinny, but he's able to back off here. Little mistake on the nade, though, pops off the corner behind him instead of going through to the window. And right now, ruLegends are stuck, playing it safe once again.
Stray will wait for the push to come out from INTZ, but they should realize by this point, those aren't too common of an occurrence. INTZ has not been one to play this defensive side aggressively at all for Global Risk. They've been letting RUL just make the plays first, and so far that's been a policy that's worked out brilliantly for INTZ. However, a sudden change. It seems to have worked okay. The problem is Vice. They weren't expecting him to hold on with a strong double kill to keep his team in contention now in a 3 versus 3. It's opened up pressure onto the B bomb site as well. ruLegends have an easy ticket to walk right in, or at least they think that. But again, it's the fear of commitment from ruLegends that's constantly coming back to bite them. They don't want to move up to the site just yet. They have given time for players like a Kenny to get into position to try and stop this push from being successful. Thankfully, due to his smoke presence, though, Stray will still be able to get onto the site without too much trouble, and more importantly, plant the C4.
Now it's all about the retake here for INTZ. Akemi going to be looking for that opening pick to get things started here, already wrapping his way around. But Stray, he's in the key position for ruLegends here, trying to hold on to the center of sight to make sure nobody can sneak through the global risk spawn and get into them quickly. Right now, though, time is ticking. 16 seconds and INTZ still haven't committed to the retake just yet. Akemi wanting that pick to go his way, but Stray finds one. STK and Akemi answer quickly back, but Stray's already found the other two. STK now at a disadvantage here on HP, and he's going to be forced in. 3 seconds, there's no time, and Stray wins the round for his team, and ruLegends finally get one up on the board here.
Takes them a while, and indeed a very slow walkout onto that B site. Nearly actually not even able to accomplish it too, but makes it work. And thankfully, due to the nice trades that we had seen from Vase, if I remember correctly, in the connector, gives ruLegends the room they need and takes INTZ far too long to get back into position. Pull it off. Look at this though, the C4 has been dropped early on, and Kenny's not going to stop it there. Continues to make the push, finds a second kill on the Deagle, and has now put ruL in a very, very bad position.
Not the way you want to start off a round, indeed, and Treek is already very low as well. Stray, though, on the flank, finds one. He's looking for more, but it's just not going to happen. Akemi takes him down in the trade, and it's Drace left to try and make some impact. Finds the double, but not the triple, but Treek, he trades it out. It's already down to a 1v1. ruLegends turning this one around, but it's not over yet. STK still has something left to say about that. STK working his way to try and potentially shut down Treek here, who is very, very low on HP. So Treek needs to be careful. He does have the bomb in hand, though. If he can sneak out, maybe get a plan off over towards A, but STK has him completely isolated now. And it's going to be Treek forced to make his move. Potentially, he's going to have a chance to rotate off now. STK gives him a pretty much opening to get onto this B-bomb site.
So Treek will still spend some time clearing out the surrounding area just to make sure there's not going to be any crazy last-second push coming in here from STK. Treek has to realize he's going to be at a pretty major disadvantage when it comes to the health pool due to the fact that STK was not really involved in the action happening before. We'll go to the clutch cam, though, to take a look and see if STK can close this down for INTZ or if ruLegends are going to go on a bit of a run of their own. Still very slow. Thankfully, a lot of time present on the clock for Treek to pull this off in the 1v1. Neither player really being close to the other one at this point either. As time continues to roll down here. Oh, though, Treek has got to watch out. He's given his opponent so much time to complete the flank, and he will be able to close down the round for INTZ as they swiftly take back control after a little bump in the road with that lost round previous.
And once again, the hesitation from ruLegends has been their downfall so far. They need to really think about playing a bit more aggressive in these situations. INTZ completely abusing them across their defense, and Akemi already opens up with a nice pick there onto Vase, taking him out early. In INTZ, they've just had such strong defense across the board. If you look at their frags, everybody already at least 5. Drace finally able to answer back and take down Vinny in mid, but still, INTZ in a good position to hold them off.
INTZ are going to continue to hold in a split pattern, which will prove quite dangerous as it leaves the potential open for ruL to go right in through mid and cut off the entire rotate position. And that seems to be what might end up being the execute plan here for ruL. As we've come to expect, though, it's going to be a slow wind-up from them as they take up positions all across the map. But INTZ don't want to wait. They've gone for a bit of a push through that B connector to try and see if they can spot anyone early on. Meanwhile, Treek has taken his own initiative. Go for the slow walk into the B site, try and play for intel. Not a whole lot to be gained, however, at this point. He'll still take up position and try to see if he can spot anyone from INTZ, but he's only going to find an empty site. This could work in the favor of INTZ, though, as they've got players lurking around the corner. Meanwhile, closer towards mid, Drace is able to find NNM, giving the man advantage over to ruL.
And this is definitely a round that ruLegends could hold on to and win. They do have a fairly large opening to take control of B as well. Akemi, the only one there to try and hold it off, but they look to actually go A in this situation, where it is STK and Pinkata waiting, but STK caught with a nade out there, goes down. It's Pinkata alone to hold off this site. Finds one, but that's going to be it. Drace easily trades that one out, and Akemi, he's going to be left in a 1v3 retake scenario here. And finally, ruLegends may have some success for themselves.
Akemi will work his way forward over towards Stray and the rest of the team here. Taking the same route that ruLegends took on the flank, which knocked out the original defender on the site. He's not going to be given a whole lot of room to work with on the either at close range. He will be taken down and Stray seems angry about that kill. Gloating about it a little bit of the end there. Still, it's going to put ruLegends back in an okay position, now at 2-5 against INTZ as we enter the last 2 rounds of the half.
And now all they need is 2 more rounds, and it could still be a 1-round difference at the halfway mark. And that's exactly what they need to try and make this a winnable game for themselves on the side of ruLegends. But Executor, the only player in this lobby dead silent. Everybody else above 5 frags. Executor 0 and 6. He's really the difference that they need on the side of ruLegends. If he steps it up, this could be a much different game and a much closer one at that as well. And 1 player is all it takes to get them back into it here. Right now, INTZ, though, still in a good position here. 5-2 lead on their defensive half, and generally this map does go in favor of the Blacklist side, so they have to be feeling good about this one already with that 5th round on the board. But if they can get even more, it should be a clean chance for them to close out map number 1 in their favor.
At the same time, ruLegends have not got the ball rolling, and that's when they're out there most dangerous, as we've seen in some of the previous matchups. So INTZ have to be very careful now that they've been awoken, and potentially are going to be a lot more consistent on the fragging power. Slow play once again, though, for ruLegends. The lack of any aggression from INTZ has put ruLegends into that awkward position where, once again, they're hunting for an early kill, hoping INTZ do bring out the aggression at some point, but we're just not seeing it. They will be forced into a play. I think they're going to primarily rake their way over through that B connector. Even there, though, INTZ have a whole lot of presence set up to shut them down the second they wrap this main corner, leading out to the site. You can see Akemi on the op, and there's going to be more presence available from his teammate as well. He looks away at just the wrong time, though. This is going to let the players walk right out, 3 of them from ruLegends, but he'll jump right back in, pops one off, and he'll have his teammate jump into the fray too. NNM not finding a kill, but doing lots of damage, and Akemi able to finish off 1 more. Vinny finding an additional pickup. Leaves it all down to Vice now as Vinny finds himself the double kill in that situation. Vice, unfortunately, not with a whole lot of time to play out this 1v4 either. And the C4 dropped on the ground back by the connector entry where his team executed from. Vinny will finish things off, picking up a 3rd kill on the round, continuing to dominate for INTZ as they go up to 6 now, entering the last round of the half.
Map number 1 looking better and better for the Brazilian hopefuls to get themselves into this grand final position. INTZ potentially with a 7-2 half here if they get another round to go their way. Right now, again, ruLegends, so much hesitation on this side of the map. They finally get the opening picks to go their way. They'll find the first, almost the second on Akemi, but Vinny answers back with the double kill before going down, and Akemi still finds one on the vase. 3-on-2 situation now, Stray and Shriek trying to clean this one back up and maybe find one for ruLegends here after all. Shriek and Stray narrow it to a 2v2 as Stray finds Pancata there. Nice shot from Stray in mid as well to take down Akemi. And it's winnable after all now. STK alone, 1v2. Still a potential 7th round here for INTZ, but ruLegends doing a good job of swinging it back in their favor here.
STK is going to be lurking as slow as he possibly can. He's a little bit behind on trying to pull off this flank right now, but regardless, he's going to follow through with it as he tries to cut off. Oh, and he's just going to be missing a potential flank around the corner. Even worse, he's headed the wrong way now, too. It was looking so promising for STK up until that point, but he is going to have to wrap himself back up through mid, and in a moment, we'll realize that that plant will go down towards the A site.
So much time now to play with for ruLegends on this post-plant defense. It's going to be a full rotation from the B bomb site here to try and take them out. Right now, though, they're going to team up together, playing for the trade here. STK has so much time to try and get over here, and it's going to take a bit to do it, though. Isolated on the GR spawn while STK going to run into trouble there. Treek already spots him, but misses the initial shot there. Stray and Treek, though, going to group up now for the trade. STK, though, just needs to hit some headshots here, maybe just make this happen. STK going to run into trouble, though, is spotted already, but finds one. The trade comes through, though. Stray setting up nicely for that one, and INTZ will fall in the final round of the half, and it's going to be 3-6.
Using Treek as bait, we'll at least bring them back into the fold there for a moment and allow for the quick trade out on the 2v1. But ultimately, we still end up seeing the players on ruLegends come out on top, as they are going to be able to find a little bit more of ground to work with on this half.
Overall, INTZ, though, definitely getting the best of this opening half here. ruLegends needing to step up if they want to take this series back into their control, but INTZ, the emotions are high. They see the all-Brazilian final in the near future here that they're working to make happen. So far, they may be the team to do that here, as they've been completely dominant on map number 1 so far, but it is still a best-of-3 series, so anything and everything, as we've seen, can happen as this one continues forward.
Well, for INTZ, we are going to see their players split up once again at the start, but no, it's going to leave them open for an initial pick to come in from Treek Executor as well, able to work with Drace to find his second frag. It's up to Akemi now, as he finally is able to pick up one in the favor of INTZ. It's a small gesture, though, with ruLegends shutting down INTZ so quickly at the start of this second half.
And already ruLegends off to a much better start here in half number 2. Nice opening picks going the way of Treek and Drace, but it is STK, Akemi, and NNM to try and make this one happen for INTZ. NNM, though, was such a strong player in the previous matches here for INTZ. I definitely expect some great things out of him here in the semifinal as well. ruLegends, though, playing this one very spread out, 2-2 setup. Nobody holding mid, really. It's just going to be a passive approach from Treek, holding the long angle with that AWM in hand.
INTZ once again trying to play this as slow as possible. A similar note being taken that we saw from ruLegends as well. Problem is they can't really afford to do this with the manpower that they're lacking. They need to take initiative, find their way quickly into one of the sites and look to overpower one of the potential setups from ruLegends. Speaking of which, they've just gone for an even 2-2 split due to the loss of Vase. So no room to overstack one of the sites at this point. They'll play it nice and even, since obviously those frags happened very early on in the round. And not enough indication is given to ruLegends about where INTZ may be executing for them to want to gamble stack towards one of the sites.
Great setup here on the A-bomb site from Drace and Stray. All they have to do is collapse in together and sort of funnel these players into the choke point. Right now, though, the counter flash nicely done onto Drace, gives up his position as well. They know exactly where he is, but Stray peeks out, gets the triple, and that's how it's done there. ruLegends pick up the first of the half, and that's a nice way for them to get started here in the half.
6-4 is where we are going to go to start things off in the second half. So it's a quick path for ruLegends to potentially tie things up. At 6-6, of course, we'll start working them up to their 10th point to be able to close out map number 1. For INTZ, though, it's not going to stop them too much. They're going to continue to play this slowly on opener, prioritizing the mid control along with the A long route. Try and see if they can catch out anyone early on from RUL. We do see, obviously, a lot more proactive presence being put up by RUL to begin with, including that fight that's taken by Stray. Stray will very much come out at the losing end of it, however, dropping just about 40% of his HP and then falling back to the A site.
Right now, it's interesting to see these two teams go to head because both are so hesitant on their blacklist halves, but Pinkata and Akemi both sniping could be a nice change of pace here for INTZ to maybe catch them off guard on the side of ruLegends. Pinkata, not normally someone we see that with, but he actually trades right away, but here comes the engage. Vase finds one. The trades don't come through. STK able to get 2 before going down there. Nice even trade across the board from STK, but still, INTZ almost back in their spawn at this point.
It's a zero-sum game, unfortunately, for INTZ as a result of that push. Only leads to an evenly traded situation, and now they have a push coming against them from both Stray and our number 1 player from ruLegends. INTZ are none the wiser to this either, so they could get completely crushed by it if they're not going to have someone on flank watch. This could turn very bad very quickly. They do split it up a little bit, and now it's turned from flank to a pinch. It's going to be mainly on Executor to pull off the flank and shut these guys down from a flanked angle. Stray will take a more head-on approach as he heads back over towards the B site. But still, like I said before, I don't think this is expected by the members of INTZ, and that's ultimately what's going to come back to haunt them when this execute falls through. We've got INTZ at the gates of B, though. They're ready to make a move for it. Stray will be first point contact. And look at this, they don't expect him at all. A quick triple kill picked up by Stray, completely shutting down the push from INTZ.
And this is where ruLegends truly shines, such a strong defensive team. INTZ, though, having the same issues we saw in the first half from ruLegends. They just can't break through the defenses, and this is such a hard map to do so on as well, especially when you're up against the likes of Stray, grabbing 2 triple kills in the first 2 rounds of the half.
And so the push comes in relatively quickly. It's INTZ that go off to a banging start this time. A lot more players to eliminate, though, around the corner. They won't be able to find them just yet, but this time it's going to be STK that cuts off the flank from mid. Nicely played by him, a double kill and a look for more. Gets the third onto the board before finally going down to Executor. But the damage is done. Executor is now locked into a 1v4, and INTZ are in a firm position to take easy control of the A site.
Executor, though, getting rained on by nades here. No way to get back in safely. Already down to 43 HP. Another nade comes out over the top, and they're just going to collapse in on him and take him down. Pinkata seals the deal, and it is 7-5. ruLegends still not able to take control back just yet to bring us to a tie, but INTZ finally getting things together on their blacklist side of the map.
Together indeed. It took us a few rounds, but they found a winning strategy. And we'll have to see if INTZ are going to continue to follow through on that. No, it's aggression again from Executor, but the trades are strong. Maybe not that strong, though. No, yes, they keep up with it. Akemi moving in after NNM gets the great double kill. And that puts INTZ in a controlling position, 3v2. You can see Treek looking to try and control it with a trade of his own. But the smoke is going to be too far in the way. Stray moving on flight to try and catch up. It'll work too. He comes from an unfamiliar angle, but doesn't expect the second player to be there. STK trades it back yet again. And we're now left down at just Treek on the AWM to try and 1v2 clutch.
Right now, he has the bomb down in front of him, though. Really the only saving grace in this situation. He can try and reposition to maybe play to that advantage, but still STK and Pankata both on full HP for this execution to try and retake that bomb and take Treek out of the picture here. A huge round, though, for ruLegends. If they can hold on to it, they are definitely in need of some recovery here. Otherwise, it would be 8-5, 2 rounds away from INTZ taking this first map already away from them. Not a situation they want to be faced with, but right now, here comes the collapse onto his position. Treek has to be careful and spots them both, but it's a little bit too late. Pankata takes him down, and it's going to be an 8th round for INTZ.
An overpeak from Treek, and it will lead to his swift demise in the 1v2 that it set against him there. INTZ just 2 rounds away now from closing out the first map on Ankara. One more map away from an all-Brazilian grand final if they can knock out RUL. RUL is going to go for their same split, a 2-2-1 setup across the map. INTZ will be throwing a little bit more aggression over towards A-Long early on. And again, this will be challenged by RUL successfully as STK loses about 25 of his HP from the initial fight.
INTZ looking to potentially take this bomb now over towards A. A couple players grouping out outside of it. Potentially a pinch from mid here coming in as well. Meanwhile, ruLegends giving up control of mid, but playing pretty spread out here over towards the B bomb site. Only 2 players left to defend over towards A, Vase and Stray, who've been fairly successful from these positions, but right now, more than ever, they've got to make it happen here. INTZ already prepping the nade execution for this attack onto the A bomb site. They need to be careful. The pinch is going to come through as well very quickly to stall these mid rotations from coming through. And this is a great setup for INTZ if they can take out these initial defenders very quickly.
It's a slow wind-up indeed from INTZ, but if they can work their way through the back corridor into the A site, it's an unused angle up to this point. Stray gets completely demolished. Vase falls after that. Not even any good damage really being traded out on anyone from INTZ either. At most, you're looking at about half HP getting knocked off of one of their players. A mess up on the nade from McKenny, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Executor finds the first strike against STK. Treek gonna walk right in, does not spot the player planting, and misses the opportunity when it finally presents itself, or at least won't be able to connect onto a full kill. Vinny will move forward for yet another pickup. This will force Drace back around the corner as well. We'll just leave Executor alive besides that as he tries to work himself in on what he thought was gonna be a flanked angle, but it will not pan out. INTZ continue to dominate. Only a few more rounds away now. In fact, 1 more round away from closing out on the opening map.
INTZ in a great position now to take this first map and lead this series and potentially find themselves into the finals here of CFS 2018. But right now, they've got to seal the deal on map number 1 here and now. 4 chances to make it happen. ruLegends, though, looking to stall that one out and potentially find some overtime, where we have seen earlier on in the event they had some success in these overtime matches, but they've got a lot of work left to be done if they want to take it that far here. We do see Drace not doing too well, along with Treek in this half, having some struggle on the hold. It's going to come down to INTZ, though, on the attack here over towards B, looking to put the pressure onto Executor.
Executor is going to be waiting back on that site for INTZ to make the first move, and we probably won't be seeing that for some time. It just looked like we wanted to see a straightforward B long push come out from INTZ, but they've since shifted away from that. They're going back to the more standard setup we've had in the past from them as well. Oh, great initial impact being taken out. The AK versus the AWM goes by the way of STK. Quickly eliminates Treek and gives INTZ a massive advantage, 5v4.
Pankata finds himself another one. Drace, though, able to trade it out, but it's still a 4-on-3 advantage here for INTZ to potentially close map number 1. Vase, though, has someone lurking around the corner, but finds the headshot right onto him. It's going to be STK going down. 3v3 situation. Vase looking for more, but the support comes through, and ruLegends actually find yet another one. Akemi left alone in a 1v3. Not going to happen, though. Vase trades it out, and ruLegends will live to fight another day here on Ankara.
So at the very minimum, ruLegends holding on. It's the first of 4 chances for INTZ to close out in regulation. 3 more to go. Then ruLegends will be able to trigger another overtime, potentially decide this opening map of the series. And we should remind you people, yes, it is only the opening map. We've switched to best of 3s now here in the semifinal. So we still have more to play out after this. Stick with us after this map, as a definitive victory from INTZ will not be the end of the series. They still need 1 more map to close it out and set up that all-Brazilian grand final.
ruLegends, though, looking for 3 rounds in a row that they would need to tie it here on Ankara. But right now, NNM, the map, his enemy in this situation, ruLegends given the gift to try and come back into this one. Now their hopes given to them, now a 5v4. We'll see if they can use it to their advantage now. ruLegends not going to have much to do with that one, though. Drace already goes down, and the advantage quickly taken away from them. Executor very low after that engage as well, 27 HP. INTZ still looking able to clutch this one out and take this one 10-6. It's down to a 4v3.
Even with the texture kill, we are still going to see INTZ absolutely decimate ruLegends in this round. A bit of a surprise, though. You can see SDK walking right into Stray's perspective. Didn't account for him in the back. Through the connector as well. Vase is caught. It's just Stray. He could spray these players down, though. He's got a good position to clutch this one out. A 1v2 set against him, but it won't happen. INTZ get the closeout, and they will take dominant control of the opening map of the series on Ankara.
Now we are just one step away, one big map victory from an all-Brazilian final. Who would have thought at the beginning of all this that's where we would be here now? But nonetheless, ruLegends, they're about to fall to the fire here, and INTZ looking very primed to potentially take this series now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first map done and dusted. INTZ coming in fine form. Really quite a dominating victory there on Ankara, coming out for them 10-6. Probably couldn't have gone any better for the team from Brazil.
Yeah, definitely a great position for INTZ to be in. ruLegends just looked a little bit too reserved and hesitant in this map to come out successful, and I think they really need to rethink those setups on their execution side before they go into map number 2.
Well, that's it, isn't it, Blue? When you come into this, it's the semi-final. You can't leave anything on the table. You have to put your all in, and if it's not working, you've got to change something up.
Yeah, very much the case. INTZ is struggling, a little bit at the start of that one, but were able to really quickly get themselves into a much better position. The thing for them as well is every single initial duel that we were seeing taken over the course of the rounds oftentimes goes the way of INTZ. It was very, very rare that we saw ruLegends get themselves off to a 5v4 or 5v3 advantage at the beginning of those rounds, and even rare that we saw the guys from INTZ lose that type of an advantage when they would start off with that in the round.
Now that we've seen this play out, now that we've seen the first map, is this going to change up any of your predictions at all?
I think I'm still going to hold true to it. I think it was a just one-off map that went against them, but ruLegends, I believe in them still.
All right, guys and girls, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, it's map number 2 in our second semi-final. We'll be back right after this.
December 2018, CROSSFIRE Stars begins a new fight. CFS 2018 will gather 24 top teams from 11 regions around the world in Taichung and Nanjing, China for Project S. December 4th to 6th, the group stage matches, the tournament stage quarterfinals, and semifinals will take place in Taichung. December the 8th, event matches for CROSSFIRE HD featuring top teams will be awaiting in Nanjing. December the 9th, the CROSSFIRE Legends tournament.
Hello and welcome back. We're still in our second semi-final. INTZ from Brazil up against ruLegends from, of course, Russia. Right now, INTZ are just one map away from creating history here at CFS 2018 and having an all-Brazilian grand final. It will be a day of first, that is for sure. Already, we've locked in that there will be no Chinese team in the grand final. Now, the opportunity to do essentially the complete opposite and put two teams from the same country, guaranteeing them their first champion.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see potentially two Brazilian teams face off here, but it's not over just yet for INTZ. Still a big obstacle to go through. ruLegends, they have to win one more map out of these last two to make that happen.
They thankfully have managed to put together a very decisive victory on map 1, though, which I think is going to help to play this pretty heavily into their favor. I talked about it in the before we started the first map about how ruLegends seem to be a pretty momentum-based team overall, and I think that losing the first map in the way that they did is really going to hinder their performance going into map 2 as well, unless, again, we see them get off to a really hot start there.
Well, that's it, right? It wasn't that it was close. It wasn't that they managed to come back a little bit. They really, a 10-6 is not that great a score. Now, hopefully for ruLegends, they can put that aside as we head on to the next map and progress through this best of 3 semi-finals. So much at stake as well. This is ruLegends' best chance as well as becoming champion. You think you're one step away. Not only that, if you do go to the grand final, you don't have to take on a Chinese team. You take on a team from Brazil who, still very strong, does not have the support of the Chinese audience in the same way that a Chinese team would.
Yeah, I think for ruLegends, it's a great opportunity, but also in the back of their minds, they've got to know SV's waiting for them in that third place match, and it could mean, you know, dropping as low as 4th if they fall here, and they really want to try and bring everything they have in these final maps to move forward into that grand final and maybe make a non-Brazilian final happen. But still, it's a tough task to go up against. INTZ has been playing really well, and ruLegends, they just don't have the momentum they need, I think, here to make this happen right now.
Talk to me about this next map. What are we expecting to see?
So on port, I think we'll see a little bit more aggression coming out from both teams. Generally, it doesn't tend to be a map where you sit until the very end of the round and then you attack. There's a lot more action earlier on in the rounds, going for control of those B tunnels or maybe a fight in mid. I think it's going to be one that tends to be a little bit more favorable for ruLegends than we saw in the first map, but still with how INTZ's been playing, it's going to be a difficult one for ruLegends.
Blue, you had ruLegends coming through as the winners in this particular matchup. Now that you've seen map 1 go the way it did, are you going to change your mind?
I think I am actually. I think I'm favoring INTZ now. So we're gonna have to see if they. I mean, I could just be jinxing it, but we'll have to see.
Everyone you pick goes the other way. Curse. But yeah, no, it's going to be close no matter what, and I'm hoping for a good one. That's for sure. I don't really want to see any team go out of the knock themselves out from a shot at the grand final in a 2-0. We want to see them go all the way, all 3 maps, finish it off on Mexico. But at the moment, it's in ruLegends' hands. They have to take in this quick break that we've had, come back together as a team and say, hey, we've made it all this way. Look how far we've come. It's the end of the season. We're in the semi-final of CFS 2018. And if we pick up the next 2 maps, we guarantee ourselves $200,000 and we're in the grand final.
Right, and looking at this map too, ruLegends, they have the chance to swing back here, and looking at map number 3 is the map where they took down AG in Mexico. It's really going to come down to the second map for them to conquer the hurdle to get to map 3, and right now, it's going to be INTZ trying to stand in their way as we hop into it. It is going to be map 2 in our best of 3 here. INTZ 1 map away from finding themselves as our second Brazilian team in the grand finals here.
Port will be the battlefield for that second and potentially final map of the day. Otherwise, we will go to Mexico to settle things, and that's only, however, if ruLegends are able to control the port, and we'll see just if they're able to do that. INTZ, once again, will start themselves off on the attack, however, and we'll just have to see if it's going to be as strong as we saw their performance on map number 1. Let's get into it, though.
ruLegends, though, already causing havoc here in the B tunnels. Vase and Stray started off nicely, but Akemi answers back with the trade kill onto Vase. Stray very low from the engage as well. 21 HP left to work with in this situation. INTZ, though, looking to try and answer back. Treek, though, finds one through the edge of that smoke. But Vinny, he's already picked up 2 kills here, looking for a third from lower tunnels, and he's going to find it. Executor already left in a 1v2 situation, and INTZ, thanks to Vinny, now have a chance at the round.
Incredibly close battle affair, to be sure. Vinny will find himself in the early fight versus Executor there, as both him and Akeni are separated, and thankfully, because of Vinny's low HP, it's a rather simple kill for Executor to get. Still ends up taking a tag of damage, but it won't matter too much. And we'll see Executor kind of gamble on this being a B attempt by holding in this site, waiting for a push to come out from Akemi. Won't be the case, though. He's going to make a long run over towards that A site, and he'll walk right in, finding a free plant, meaning Executor has to put his Nikes on here. He's going to have to run over to the other side of the map very, very quickly to find himself in a good position to still retake, considering how low the time will be by the time he gets there. Well, he's got the early spot, though, so might have a better chance of this now that he's got the intel.
Akemi, though, looking to go for the repeat here over the spawn wall, but he's not going to get it there in time. Executor, though, a lot of pressure on his shoulders to start this one off right for ruLegends and get them on track to potentially take map number 2. Akemi, though, a very strong player in these 1v1 situations, but it's not going to matter. Executor takes him down. 2 big kills for him to get this opening round, and ruLegends start this one off on the right foot here in map number 2.
Plenty of time for the defuse as well. Just barely takes care of it there, as we'll see Russian Legends move ahead at the start of the round and the start of the map. Push them up at 1-0. For INTZ, though, a very, very close battle round for them as well. We'll have to see if they can piece this back together. As most of their efforts in that last round coming primarily from just Vinny. A triple kill from him in that last round. Not seeing much else in terms of impact, except from Akemi, who tried to close out the 1v2.
And now ruLegends, this is their opportunity here. They love to play on the defensive side of every map, a little bit more than the attacking side, so they have to feel a bit more comfortable starting off on the defenses here on port. Right now, though, INTZ already pushing for aggressive control here in the B tunnels. Treek having no idea. NNM's already around the corner from him, playing just outside the mid double doors. Treek, though, knows it's a bit unsafe here. He's going to back off and try and reset his position. INTZ, though, so much presence already, having kept that control over the B tunnels.
Treek and the others here from ruLegends are going to continue to play it back passively. No more crazy aggressive play on the inside of the house like we saw in the last round. It is going to be rather held back from ruLegends, and it's INTZ that are struggling at this point to try and find their engagement point. They can't find another opening they can use against ruLegends to get themselves into a site, so they're going to have to continue to run down that timer. Thankfully, still plenty of it left, with a little over a minute remaining on the clock right now, 1:10 specifically. And then will take the initiative. It's going to be him that strikes on the first kill as well, taking down Drace. Not a whole lot being traded back from the other side just yet, as it's brought into a 5v4, favor to INTZ, but still no initiation, no push out from them. So they are going to have to speed this up a bit.
Definitely looking for some aggression out of INTZ at this point. They have the advantage they need to work with as well in Stray. He's going to be pretty alone here on the back of the B-bomb site. Vase, though, now rotating in for the support. They sense this could be an attack on this B-bomb site, but Vase, is he going to go in for the peek here? The support comes through, but Vase, his back turned at the worst time possible there. Vinny, though, going to be taken down by Stray, who's left to try and hold on alone, but he finds a second kill as he's taken down in the trade fire from NNM. Treek and Executor now looking for the retake, 2v3 situation. The bomb looking to try and go down, though. Only 20 seconds to get this plan off. They've got to do it quickly before things get a little bit crazy on this retake. Akemi, though, already spotting Executor here, but Treek trying to find an opening of his own, goes down to NNM. Executor, though, finds 3 already on the round, but that'll be it. Pinkata finishes things off.
And so we do see INTZ quickly finding the trade to bring us into an even kill situation at 1-1. Single round picked up by both of these teams at the start, and a little bit more decisive that time for INTZ instead of coming down to the wire like we saw in the case of ruLegends. They're going to try to challenge early on, however, by taking early control of the house, preventing access. INTZ Stray will get blinded out, but he's got support coming in from Vice, and this will lead the advantage over into the favor of ruLegends. It'll continue to be that way as well. Stray gets into the fight, as does Drace. Penkata finding the only kill so far for INTZ, as it is going to be Treek to pick up the 4th kill, leaving NNM alone in a 1v4.
Definitely not around that ruLegends can afford to lose here, but they've got everything on their side to make it happen. The C4 in the hands of NNM, but only 47 HP to try and make this happen with, not looking like it's going to be a likely situation to go his way. And ruLegends going to be playing together as well to make sure they can trade if NNM goes on the hunt for some individual aim duels here. But right now, he's going to try and sneak his way out into mid. But with 4 players still alive, I don't see that being too likely of a situation to go well for him. He's already spotted, and Vase takes him down. And just like that, ruLegends, they do swing back into the lead here, but they've got a lot more work left to be done to fight back into this one.
And so we will continue the fight as ruLegends take control on the defensive side. For INTZ, it's going to be a relatively similar opener for them as well. We'll probably actually see ruLegends get themselves into a fight early on, though. They're going to move themselves up through the mid connector, leading over towards A eventually. Executor is going to be in a great spot to catch Vinny off guard here, too. Easily executes him with a fast headshot and brings INTZ down to 4.
INTZ already struggling quite a bit here on their blacklist side of the map. They get the control that they're looking for, but when it comes down to these executions, both teams have struggled quite a bit in this matchup so far. INTZ going again over towards the B tunnels here. Definitely a good read on the situation, at least. Only 2 players close by for ruLegends to try and hold this one off, but INTZ haven't had a whole lot getting out of this one just yet.
Vase will move himself forward, try to hold close to the wall against the eventual push that he's expecting to see from INTZ, and he's right to do that. It's not just him either. Good shots coming out from Vase. A double kill from him. He'll try to make it more than that, but he will be knocked out by Pinkata, who trades back the frags evenly. Problem is they're still behind. Both NNM and Pinkata stuck at around 50 HP. The remaining 3 from ruLegends at max right now. So it should be an easy retake for them. They're going to take some time to set it up, however, as they wrap back around to the house to cut these guys off on the flank.
ruLegends in a great position, though, now on the retake. Pinkata, though, a deadly player alongside NNM to try and hold on. A lot of damage being dealt, but Pinkata, the first to act here, takes down one. NNM finds another. They're going to hold on here. What a big 2v5 coming out from INTZ. Not something you want to see if you're ruLegends here, but INTZ, a great way to bring this one back to a tie.
A brilliant hold for INTZ, and it's going to keep us neck and neck once again. A split will be made by INTZ early on in the 5th round now, as one of their players is going to posture up in the usual avenue. The others will head out towards A long and get ready to make a decisive play here. Executor does wait further down the angle, however, only with an AK, so he does have to be careful. He'll be forced back when he sees the push coming in. Counter flash is going to be great, but it still does not matter. STK starts things off. Even though we see a trade from Treek, he's the only one keeping his team in. His Executor as well goes completely unaccounted for due to him hiding behind the steps, and he pretty much single-handedly shuts down the round. Akemi going to try to bring it back, however, for INTZ. He's brought it down to a 1v2. Ducked at the wrong moment, though. So his IWM shot is going to end up connecting through the wall. And at the end of the day, we'll see Vice get the peak to take out Akemi, closing down the round for RUL as they push ahead once again.
Still, trading rounds may not be enough here for ruLegends on this side of the map. It is generally one that leans their direction on the defensive half, so they really need to have a big win in this half to establish themselves full control and feel a bit more comfortable going into that second half. If INTZ even picks up 4 rounds out of the 9 in this half, they're going to be feeling pretty good going into their defensive side. So ruLegends, we'll see what they can do to move forward here with some momentum on their side. But right now, it seems like every time they get a bit of it, INTZ is right there to answer back.
Slow play yet again from INTZ to open up the round. See it again. We actually haven't seen too much of it in this map. It's been more of a common theme of our other maps. INTZ will open things up, though, with a slow wind-up this time. Trying to make sure that we don't see anything cheeky from ruLegends. They will continue to still send players down, and actually we might see a bit of a fight after all. Depends on if they want to fully push out towards long. STK waiting by the big doors. A chance to maybe crush this. ruLegends are aware of that, though, so Executor, along with his teammate who are considering going for a boost to connector, will move back instead. And Drace will now have to hold from his position mid. It's pretty much solo to watch out for any pushes from INTZ in this direction. He could swing on these guys too, as it is seeming like INTZ want to favor a play towards that A site. He will only be able to go 1 for 1. It's Executor that picks up the second, giving the advantage over to RUL. And now Treek and Vice to seal the deal, leaving it on Penkata in a 1 versus 4. Didn't stay that long either. Executor quickly finishes off Penkata and closes out on the round for ruLegends.
And this is where they thrive on these defensive halves. They have solid rotations here, and they don't have to force engages they're not comfortable taking. And this is really where the pressure is going to mount on the shoulders now of INTZ. But Akemi starts it off big time, taking down Treek in the B tunnels.
Only up to go here for INTZ in this round. Mentioning how ruLegends wanted to establish themselves a little bit more decisively on this defending side. Well, they've done that now. They've got to be careful not to lose it so quickly either. Stray will wait around the corner with a chance to trade this back. It's going to be Drace instead that picks up the kill, but Stray and Drace want to look for more, and they find it. 2 quick pickups from them. Shuts down the aggression once again from INTZ, leaving it all on Akemi and Vinny to try and reverse a 2v4.
And another position for ruLegends to take another round here. But Akemi and Vinny do have pretty solid HP to work with in this situation. The bomb dropped down, though, outside of B long. Akemi looking for that pick to try and make things a bit more even before they go in here. However, it is going to be Vinny sort of stuck here in this position in lower mid, trying to sneak out potentially out the double doors, but Vase playing right behind them. He's going to be eager to strike from above.
Vinny will still hold position on the inside mid here to try and work with Akemi, find some way to battle back. Unfortunately, it's not going to prove to be the easiest task in the world now. They don't have any more aggression coming at them from ruLegends. There's no real reason to expect that either, due to how big of a man advantage ruLegends now have to play off of. They're going to burst themselves outside of the house, though, and try to breach into the site. It starts out well, but is immediately put back down by Drace in the corner. The more time Akemi wastes, the more time he really seals his fate here, unfortunately. Needs to get into it. Starts it off okay, though, on his secondary peak. Tries to follow it up with more, but he's quickly losing HP and will eventually go down to Vase, giving the round over to ruLegends. So finally, we've got some smiles for these guys as they lead 5-2.
And as we can see, the momentum now swinging in the opposite direction and almost night and day from what we saw in map number 1 from ruLegends, now feeling the full confidence behind them. This could be their map for the taking here. 5-2, they lead it. 2 rounds left in the half. And they're looking very strong so far on this second map of Port. We do see Executor already boosted into the A connector here, waiting for that early peak position to come out. INTZ, though, you can see the changes they've made, very reserved, not even wanting to take control here of the lower B tunnels, playing all the way back and hoping that ruLegends makes a mistake here. And this has really been the downfall of both of these teams, I would say. The more reserved they get, the more issues they really seem to have here.
Yeah, it seems to be the common trend, unfortunately. And INTZ has just fallen to become a victim of it more so than we might have seen from ruLegends in the previous map. ruLegends really starting to cut ahead once again on the second map of Port and not leaving a whole lot of room whatsoever for INTZ to do much. INTZ needs to take some initiative here, but we're not seeing any sign of that. They're still stacking in the back of mid, waiting for ruLegends to do something crazy. It's not going to happen, guys. INTZ finally start their push into mid now, however, which will eventually, I think, lead into B from the house.
And we can see some adjustments here over on the B-bomb side as well. The counter flash in the hands of Stray. Vase has one as well, so they're actually playing both with flashes in hand. A little bit risky if someone's able to sneak out here, but if they can pop these at the perfect moment, it can be the best way to shut down a push out of this B-barn onto the B-bomb site. So right now it is going to be 4-man push from INTZ. Trying to look their way in here, but the flashes have to be perfect here from ruLegends to hold this one off. The fake coming from STK, making a little bit of trouble here in mid, but he's waiting to peek as well. Probably in a late flank position, but look at the patience here from INTZ. They're now setting up for the nade execution, though.
Not going to have a whole lot of time to make this successful, however. Just about 30 seconds remaining on the clock, but it's a big burst out onto the site so far. Shut down completely by Drace. Penkata going to try to turn it back around, but no. Drace finds himself a third kill. STK able to impact with one additional frag, but it will not matter. ruLegends very much taking a page out of INTZ's book from the last map, as they're the ones dominating now at 6-2 on the global risk side.
It's almost a little bit scary of a situation, actually, for INTZ, thinking if they watch the map of AG versus ruLegends on Mexico, that's what's in store next here. So ruLegends really find themselves in a great position here, 6-2, potentially 7-2, going into the final half here of this map, but it's not all over just yet. INTZ going to storm out mid. Akemi finds a big shot there, takes down Vase. Things looking better and better. Akemi finds the double. Vinny finds a double as well, and it's all on Treek here in the final round at 1v5 in front of him. Not looking likely, though. He's going to be hunted down immediately. And finally, INTZ get a good round to close this half out, but it's still going to be a 6-3 half in favor of ruLegends, though. You can see they're a little bit disappointed, though.
And there we go. That's exactly what we were talking about. Just needed to see a little bit more aggression come out from the INTZ roster. It's had more initiative needing to be taken to surprise the ruLegends roster, and more importantly, catch them off guard where they can cause a bit more chaos. Hopefully successfully just trade their way to victory. They do just that. They managed to put that third round up on the board and keep their chances winnable going into the second half in an attempt to close this out 2-0.
INTZ, though, they could still do this here 2-0. It's really a position where they have to have a more confident defense than what we saw out of ruLegends, and they have to be willing to at least take some risks to try and make this happen. ruLegends playing so reserved on their blacklist sides leaves a lot of opportunity in the hands of INTZ to really control the pace of this map moving forward. And as you can see, Akemi opens it up nicely, and they get the first pick of the half, taking down Treek already from the start.
No additional follow-up from ruLegends either, after we do see that initial kill go by the way of INTZ. It's going to be just a slow play through mid, potentially leading their way out over onto that A site. They're going to transition into the connector. See if Drace can get that jump working for him there. There he goes. So he will regroup the rest of his team. And we'll see them try to swing out towards long. Now remember before, this is where Akemi was already able to shut down one of the members of ruLegends. Actually quite smart, as they might not be expecting it, but no. Akemi finds another impact. Vinny will leap back out. He's going to look for a quick double kill. They don't even notice him. He goes wild there. And while we do see a few trades from Stray, ultimately it's going to be a non-existent gesture as INTZ shut down the round again. Just 2 away from the tie now.
And this is exactly what INTZ were hoping for here in this situation. ruLegends again struggling on their offensive half to find the openings they need to make these rounds converted in their favor. And this could be their downfall here. They need to have a good close on their blacklist side if they want to keep the dream alive here. INTZ, a team that knows how to step up and adjust their defenses very easily and adapt to what ruLegends is doing. So they really need to bring the aggression here if they want to take down INTZ. But ruLegends, they still keep playing reserved time and time again.
It's going to continue to be the theme going into this round now. Our 11th one of the map and our second on the half. INTZ just getting things started on their global risk side. For ruLegends on blacklist, though, we need to see them kick up the heat relatively quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a tie situation. Through the mid gateway, we've got a lot of the utility being used by ruLegends early on to try and do some damage to INTZ. Unfortunately, it's going to be a misnomer. No connections except onto STK, but even then, it's only about 15 HP taken away from him. As the battle will continue elsewhere on the map. We need to be transitioned elsewhere due to our ruLegends pulling away. Seems like they're going to walk their way in through the tunnels and over in towards the barn to make a B play, which could work out well. There's only one player from INTZ sitting in to defend it, but it is Penkata, who's had himself quite a game so far if you look at his performance from the attacking side.
Penkata looking to be that lone warrior, but they actually call for the rotation already. So NNM already there for the support on the sidelines here. ruLegends, though, still pretty spread out as well. They could actually take either site from this position, and it may actually be a fake from Drace to take the bomb over towards A. Now Treek has it in hand, sitting in the back of mid to potentially split out onto the A bomb site, and that's exactly what they're going to do here. 2 players in the A connector to mid, and now Treek running over to A long to try and support this A execution. ruLegends, though, very spread out, and they have to be careful. Akemi finds one, but STK catches the mid push, and an and Akemi just hold this off completely. It's a just 1v4 already for Drace, and he is caught there on the top of A. Everything falling apart on these executions for ruLegends and INTZ. They seem to have all the answers here to shut them down.
It's another shutdown indeed from INTZ, and this is what I was talking about before. This is what we were worried about in the analysis segment for ruLegends. A good start for them, a good overall scoreline, but a poor start at the half can detriment them so heavily. And unfortunately, just put them on tilt, leading to INTZ being able to easily shut down these rounds back to back to back. We might just be seeing that right now as ruLegends becomes frustrated with their inability to make entries happen on these first couple of rounds of the half.
And you can see it reflected there on the scoreboard as well. The only player in the first 2 rounds to find kills, Stray, sitting 3-2. Every single player on the ruLegends roster besides him, though, 0-2. No impact really so far in this half. And that has to change quickly if INTZ are to be defeated here. INTZ, though, already going to rotate a couple players off the B bomb site. It's pretty much exposed here, but ruLegends, they are ready to attack it once again. Nobody going to be really in a position to stop them aside from Akemi playing it passive for the retake here as they stack over towards A. The gamble that could come back to haunt them here.
Well, it is going to be Skewer that'll move out first, and this time an uncharacteristic miss from Akemi. He's forced off. They put STK in the front runner position instead for the defensive side, and it works out. Finds the first bit of impact. Vinny finding a second pickup as they cut off the flank. And now INTZ, after this utility fades away, is going to be in a great position to retake. It's 5v3. Time, of course, is going to be incredibly low, and the post plant, though, so they cannot waste any time with the setup. They need to start moving in as soon as players are in position to make sure that they have time for that defuse. About half the time now gone away, down to under 20 seconds. And no sign of INTZ moving in for the retake yet. ruLegends did a great job of wasting their utility, and now look at this, they're shutting down the attempt of a retake. Only NNM able to pick up a kill as ruLegends get it done in a 3v5.
And finally, some solid success comes through on the blacklist half of ruLegends. And at a time where they needed it here, they prevent the tie 7-5, now 3 rounds away from taking this one forward into Mexico to be our map 3 in this situation. But still, they've got a bit of work left to be done to make that happen. INTZ still looking for the shutdown and the 2-0 sweep here in our semifinal to decide who faces Black Dragons in that all-important grand final here. Right now, though, INTZ playing very similar to before here, giving up mid this time around and playing 2B and 3 over towards the A bomb site.
INTZ are going to split 3-2 across the map. Heavy emphasis on that mid defense to watch out in the event ruLegends try to do something crazy and push past the mid gate right under the bridge. Once again, ruLegends will use their opening nades to throw a little bit of pressure at the gates, and unsuccessful that will be since INTZ do not have an active hold there. ruLegends are going to move more of their players over into the left tunnels afterwards. They approach over towards B, the walk up towards B in an attempt to set up once again for another possible burst out through the barn.
INTZ, though, setting up with 2 players on site. NNM and Penkata set to defend this one. 2 players who have been so vital on the defensive halves for INTZ. We'll see if they can do it once again, though. Penkata, pretty silent in the half so far, but a lot of time to make his impact known. ruLegends, though, sending Vase out mid through the smoke to try and scout out where these players may be on the defensive half. Right now, though, INTZ, they've got to be careful. There's so much opportunity now for Vase to make a big play here and sneak behind them. Vinny holding the cross on the spawn wall, but Vase, he has no idea STK's here on the bridge. He's actually trapped between 2 players now. Vase, he has to make a big move here. He's going to try and sneak away, but it's not going to happen. STK finds him and takes him down before things go awry. Right now, though, the execution coming onto the B bomb site. NNM finds one, but it's still going to be some shutdown frags falling into the hands of ruLegends here. 2-on-3 situation, but Vinny comes in big time and finds two before going down, and it's Executor alone here. 1v2 doesn't seem to matter. It's actually a 1v3 down to a 1v1 situation. STK can't make it happen. What just happened? Executor pulling out the big plays right when they needed it, and somehow ruLegends walk away with the round.
And Executor single-handedly bringing it back for ruLegends there. I don't know what's broken down with INTZ, but they have fallen aside big time. ruLegends getting away with something they should have absolutely not been able to do in that last round, and it's all owed to Executor. Finds a massive impact. And of course, settles the round away for ruLegends to put them only 2 away now from tying the series up at 1-1, sending us to that third map on Mexico.
We'll see if they can make it happen, though. ruLegends 2 away from taking it to Mexico, where they did take down AG earlier on in the quarterfinals today. So we'll see if that plays into fact as well. But right now, they have to get there first. INTZ still 5 straight rounds on the board. Could take this one back into their hands and put them in a 2-0 sweep to close it out. But right now, there's just 2 rounds standing in the way of ruLegends, and you can tell this is a much different team from what we saw in map number 1. They are ready to strike once again, favoring this position over towards the B bomb site. But again, INTZ, they have not made a single adjustment to try and prevent this push from going wrong.
Still going to sit in their 3-2 split that we've been seeing as a common trend for INTZ in this match, at least on their defensive side. On port, it is going to be ruLegends trying to push their way out, actually through mid a little bit potentially this time, since the barn push has been somewhat hit or miss. This could also just be them posturing up for aggression early on in the round, though, as there's not a true sign of commitment coming out from them just as of yet. Time, though, continues to get low, and ruLegends continue to mess around with the mid play. Seems like it has been left open, though. INTZ know this. Let's see. STK holding a position over on A side of the bridge. Could move in and find a big intel spot right now, but no. Treek's going to end up getting pushed back away behind. And they will have to burst out through the barn at the end of the day. The good news is, though, once again, utility can be used by ruLegends, and they can easily cut off that rotate. It's going to be Treek that starts things off well. Pancata makes a big move, though, and he's going to push himself forward to the front lines. Gets a double kill, ends up going down. It's STK to immediately trade that out. Their Vice knocks out Pancata. Down to only 2 for ruLegends. Stray and Vice trying to clutch this out. Only 10 seconds as well to get the plant onto the ground, but they are going to prioritize that. They've already survived another 2v3. They're going to look to do it again. Vice can only go 1 for 1, though. It's down to Stray in a 1v2. He's got both players coming at him from the barn right now. Is he going to be able to shut it down? No. Akemi will end it, and INTZ survive. They get their 6th round up on the board.
Things getting closer and closer here. INTZ still with a shot to take this map back into their hands, but ruLegends, they will be leading by 2 as we go into the final 4 rounds here of regulation. We'll see who can potentially close it out here. If INTZ could do this, it would be quite the comeback here. Down 8-5 to potentially make it 10-8 and still win this map. Would be pretty remarkable here, but right now we do see INTZ finally making a change here on their defensive setup. They play forward in the B tunnels for full control, but this time around, ruLegends, they're going to be going straight to A, once again reading the defensive setups and making the best decisions here.
It's this decisive play that's often worked out very well for the attacking team, and it might just be the case again. Vinny, along with his teammate, are going to be forced into a corner, but it seems like they can hold. No! They get traded out. Akemi is able to find one more pickup. It's still palatable for INTZ, but they need to forge the way back into this soon. We see STK moving forward. He's going to end up falling to Drace, though. Now all on Pancata in the 1v3, but he's got Drace and Treek incredibly low, so a good chance to try and clutch this out for his squad.
He is going to be spotted as well. Finally able to take down one player, 2 left in his way, but the 1v3 will be cut short there by Treek. And now it is going to be a map point opportunity on the table here for ruLegends. 3 chances to take us into map 3, and they only need 1 to prove it.
Absolutely. For INTZ, though, they're still going to want to try and close this out here in 2-0 fashion, but they will need to be able to now run 3 rounds straight in addition to the 4 that'll be needed in overtime in order to make that happen. It's a much more difficult task. And for them, they might honestly just be looking at that 3rd map at this point. They've still come back. They've been able to close out these rounds on this side, though, so they don't want to take it without a fight. And it's going to be, again, Pancata that finds massive impact. So does Vice, though. And they'll end up getting the better of it at the end of the day. Treek will pick up 1 more frag. However, Vinny able to keep it even with his trade against Vice to bring it into a 2 versus 2.
And now everything on the line here for INTZ to try and keep it alive here on this map. 20 seconds to grab 2 kills and the retake, but Drace starts it off and takes down Vinny, but the shot through the smoke from Akemi is going to find Drace, but look at that shot from Treek. What a way to end the map, and just like that, Port falls into the hands of ruLegends 10-6, and they're going to be going back onto the stomping ground that they took down AG on earlier, as Mexico will be the final map between these two teams.
Still a very, very close fought affair between the two teams. Going the distance, INTZ getting themselves off to a poor start that time, and obviously the map being a lot more back and forth than we saw on our initial engagement. Our first map at the start of this series. Still though, going the way of ruLegends, ties us up at 1-1, and takes us into a very, very interesting third map to settle this series. Both of our semifinals going the distance here, and of course only one spot is open for another team. It's already been one Brazilian team. The question still remains of whether it'll be a second, with INTZ potentially joining them, or if Russia will reign supreme here in the second semifinal to send ruLegends forward instead.
Well, that is certainly throw a spanner into the works if you're an INTZ fan, but for ruLegends, they certainly do bring it back and do so in style. After going down 6-10 in the first one, they bring it back 10-6. So an eye for an eye, I suppose. And now we find ourselves with just one map remaining. We said we wanted this to go all the way, and we're going to get what we are after here. It cannot get any closer than this. I'm so glad to see that ruLegends actually decided to turn up today. It would have been very sad to lose like 10-6, 10-6 or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely, and now they're going into a map where they should feel the most confident. They took down AG, and now INTZ, they're the team with their backs against the wall here, still trying to fight for that Brazilian presence for the full Brazilian Grand Finals they've been hoping for, but right now, with momentum on their side, ruLegends might just be able to do this here.
On Mexico, and you said it was going to be a 2-1, to be fair, when you started off, Kyle, and I should never have doubted you. I'm sorry. It's looking like maybe that is possible right now. We talk about momentum, that's in ruLegends' favor. If we talk about map, sounds like that's also in ruLegends' favor. But INTZ, they're the ones trying to get themselves in that all-Brazilian final. Look at that, 17-11. A very impressive match from them.
Yeah, Device definitely being the most consistent fragger across the board. He was one that we were seeing really step up and being the one to really, and more importantly, I think kind of trade out a lot of those situations in favor of his team and keep a lot of the more chaotic rounds under his team's control at the end of the day. Yeah,
it's very important. There's all sorts of roles across a game like CROSSFIRE. Everyone's got to play their part. Some of them are going to come out with more frags than others. However, Vice coming out on top this time around. And, well, it certainly seemed to work, and I'm glad that ruLegends managed to bring it back, but it's been a long day for us. I think it's been a long few days as well for some of these teams. A lot of pressure. Imagine playing for, at minimum, $200,000, and all that stands in your way is a single map, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the line, and both of these teams have had a lot of fluctuation in how they perform as well, but we'll see who comes out of it on top. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is going to be the final map here. Mexico decides the fate of who will go up against Black Dragons here in the final. And it looks like we're just about ready to hop in here.
No breaks this time, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading right into the third and final map of the day and our second semi-final. It's INTZ up against ruLegends, the winner, moving on to meet the Black Dragons in the grand finals. We're in our Nanjing arena in just a few days' time. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the final map. And it's time to find out if ruLegends will reign supreme and push forward, or INTZ will hold strong for Brazil and be able to take control. It does look like, though, I think one player had his headset off, so I think we're just fixing his PC real quick, and then we can get started with them.
And looking at this map, it is going to be Mexico here. A very, very interesting map for these teams to go head-to-head on. Both teams looking pretty strong on it. I'd say right now it's probably in the top two for both of these teams, so it's really interesting to see how this one may pan out. We've seen a lot of success usually going the way of the team that starts on that defensive side, and given the switches that have gone back and forth, I believe it's INTZ who will get the luxury of starting on that defensive half. I'm pretty interested, though, to see how that plays into effect moving forward here.
I want to bring up something as well, because we've been seeing this be a common theme throughout most of the map so far. Oftentimes, the team that ends up coming out on top is the team that kind of takes the initiative on the attacking side. And I think that's going to be incredibly prevalent going on to this final map on Mexico as well. Just consider the fact that, again, we've seen teams play very stagnant, very passive attacking sides, and oftentimes their executes have been poor as a result of that. The team that's been more proactive, that's been a little bit more scary with the way that they've jumped out onto the sites, oftentimes has been the team that's been winning the engagements, and more importantly, winning the majority of rounds on the blacklist side. And I think that's going to be incredibly key going on to Mexico once again, as we saw in our previous series.
And now we do see ruLegends once again playing pretty reserved here to start this one off. There was a quick push up alleyway from Drace to start off the round, but he actually backed off pretty quickly there, not wanting to go for the engage. Meanwhile, INTZ, though, playing very forward for mid control. They've got 3 players posted up here, 2 in shadow, 1 playing from the quad boxes, waiting for the strike to come through into mid. But right now, ruLegends, they're actually going to try and slide their way back up the alleyway to try and put the pressure onto STK here, who is actually alone to try and defend this bomb site. It could be a good read coming out from ruLegends. They are showing a little bit less hesitation here, but still, it could just be a fake.
At the moment, just posturing up pressure. We've already seen most of them actually fall back after the initial engagement there. It's really just left Vice in position now to try and make a push in his own regard. But the rest of the team has gone all the way back towards the blacklist spawn. And it's looking like they might try to make a play over towards the B site instead, due to the way that they're rotating now. Present's going to be a lot more focused, I think, towards mid as well. And INTZ just trying to figure out what to make of this. There we go. They're going to work their way down inside of water. And trying to make a play from here, I think, will be the intended goal, especially with the time getting as low as it is now.
And look at this positioning here. There's nobody covering this angle. ruLegends has such a clear opening to work their way out onto the B bomb site. 1 player left to try and hold them off in Pincata. He's already been cut off. Vase, though, on the flank, already finds 2. Akemi finally shuts him down, but the B bomb site is in full control here for ruLegends. Pincata and Akemi now left in a 2v3 retake situation. They're already trying to work their way back into this one, but they do have Akemi a little bit late to the party here on his rotation.
Fortunately, the angles are going to be a little bit rough for these guys to play with now, considering the man advantage has gone to the favor of ruLegends as well. There's another pick from the Armor for the side of ruLegends, and it'll be Treek to finish off not only him, but the final kill as well on his pistol. ruLegends with a decisive opening round on their blacklist side, and they will get off to a 1-0 start.
And there you have it. It is going to be the harder half, but starting off on the right foot here for ruLegends. And that's exactly what you need here. We've seen the blacklist side. You really only need 3 or 4 rounds, but just now in this round, INTZ, a great start. Shut down completely by Drace, though. Just single-handedly dismantles the A-site defense. Drace coming in guns blazing. Now it's a 3-on-3 situation. Already, INTZ starting to falter once again in this second round of the map. The bomb already planted. Now INTZ in full retake mode here. And ruLegends once again primed for another round.
A great run-in for those guys, to be sure. And now Vice will look to try and hold off the angle at the alleyway too, but no, he's going to end up falling to Akemi instead. It's left the members of INTZ a potential opportunity to get their way back into the site as they push the man advantage into their favor. Trades will continue to roll around. It's left down to Drace at the end of the day in a 1v2, but he might be able to play this for time. Knocks out one of the first 2, though, and now puts it into a duel versus Vinny. He's seen him go out to the corner, swings wide to take the battle, and he will shut it down. Beautiful stuff coming out again from the ruLegends roster as they pick up a second.
And this is the ruLegends you have to be scared of. They always have had a solid defense, but now if they can do it on the offensive side as well, INTZ could be in a very scary position here. 2-0 start now. Drace leading the charge with the 4-0 score behind him here, making these rounds happen for ruLegends so far. But it's not over just yet. INTZ still ample time to respond and take control of this final map of our semifinals matchup here right now. The ruLegends, once again, they're playing patient, but when the executions come through, they've stepped up to the plate here. INTZ losing a lot of health on STK to start off the round.
And he's going to position himself back in mid. We've got that usual shadow corner hold from INTZ to start off this round. So they'll wait for ruLegends to make the next play first. They'll be held out at the usual staging point just outside of mid on the walk-up. A few players also lurking down into the alley for an opportunity to push their way up towards A. Does seem to be the intended target here at the start of the round. They'll need to bring the initiative to the table that we've been talking about in previous rounds, due to INTZ more directly taking the fight to them at the beginning of this round. However, Skewer still ready to move himself in through the alleyway as well. Will get himself behind the bricks. And a chance as well to set up utility for the rest of his team. NNF going to get pushed back. It's a beautiful hold so far from INTZ, but no. Treek and Vase bringing it back into the fight from ruLegends. Vase, in fact, making a triple kill out of it. And we see one more kill to decisively push ruLegends into the lead, further and further into their favor now at 3-0 over INTZ.
And this is the ruLegends that is very, very scary. All of the confidence in the world behind them. I think that's the first loud round out of them we've heard in quite a while here. And INTZ still no response on the defensive half of this map. That is not what you want on Mexico, a map that is so defensive-sided, but you couldn't tell that by looking at how ruLegends has performed so far, completely controlling the map. Vase, Drace, and Treek all looking very, very strong so far to start off their offensive half, but still, INTZ, they have that time left to recover, but they need to start it here and now.
We've got ruLegends once again in position to execute in a very split manner. We saw this in the last round too, and it actually worked out quite well for them. Something that we haven't been seeing our teams utilize all that much. For INTZ, the holds that were strong for them before, especially when you look at players like a Kenny and Vinny, unfortunately have really fallen off a cliff. We haven't seen any of that impact that we've been seeing in previous maps make its way into Mexico just yet. There's still plenty of time to show that. There we go. That's a good start for INTZ. Akemi able to get himself into an opening battle versus Stray, and will find the pickup as a result of that to put his team into a 5v4.
ruLegends, though, still looking to strike back here. Man down, though. Stray falling very early, but the 3 power fraggers still alive here for ruLegends. So they do need to be careful on the side of INTZ, who are playing once again pretty forward in mid. And this has almost been a bit of their downfall here, getting picked off one by one in this mid position. But still, nice counter utility coming out from INTZ. They stall the push, but Executor finally trades back with the kill onto NNM as Drace goes down. 3v4 though, Vase stuck here on the alley bridge, has to try and back off with just minimal HP here. ruLegends, though, finally struggling on their blacklist half. Some bit of success here for INTZ.
Finally a chance for them to get onto the board. Don't want to count them out of the round just yet, though, especially if Vase is still going to be able to find impact with his low HP. The real problem, of course, for ruLegends is the lack of time now. They spent too much time kind of sitting in mid and not really accomplishing all that much. So they are going to be forced into a very low time to execute, and INTZ have all their players in position to shut this down. Vinny with a quick double kill, in fact, a triple kill from him. Shuts it out. ruLegends don't stand a chance that time, and INTZ will get onto the board.
And now this is where they need to swing back even harder here. One round, not going to cut it here on the blacklist half of this map. You've got to prevent them from getting really more than they have now on the side of INTZ. They have to get at least 5, I'd say, here to feel pretty comfortable about how this half goes down. But right now, ruLegends still leading at 3-1 as we get back into our 5th round here. INTZ, though, 3 players only on 1 frag each, but still a successful hold to go their way. In the previous round, they're looking a little bit more confident, but they still are pretty keen on taking control of mid here in this matchup.
So we've got ruLegends. Good position, again, to try and start their push towards the alleyway, and as well into mid at the start of this round. No initiative being taken, however. INTZ will continue to hold in the shadow positions in mid as they wait for ruLegends to get up to the jump-up boxes and get ready to try and pinch these positions to hopefully knock 1, if not 2 players from INTZ out of the round. Treek move himself forward. It's Akemi and Vinny that are going to be hiding in the shadow corner where we normally have the setup. ruLegends ready to take that fight. They know it's going to be bursting out at them at any moment. They're just waiting for INTZ to take the battle. And there we go. Akemi will find 1. Executor and Vice pick up 2. Vinny as well, able to find 1 on his own and still holds position just behind the big box here.
ruLegends still in a good position to try and answer back here. Vinny down to 33 health as he lights up Drace as well in that process. ruLegends, though, looking for the full reset here, trying to get Stray to find information here over towards water, potentially to catch these rotators off guard. Pinkata and Vinny, though, looking for the double peek. They've definitely read the situation well. Stray, though, going to have Vase come over to assist him as well in this position. Pinkata, though, going to run into trouble soon, has to back off here, knows he doesn't want to take that fight. And now ruLegends have control of water and can push out here and potentially swing towards either side.
It's going to be Vice starting it off well for his team. Again, to take out Vinny, and most importantly, giving ruLegends the 3v2. It's not necessarily an easily winnable when you look at Vice and Drace's HP, but the good news is they get solid positions inside of the site, and if INTZ go for a straightforward retake, they will be able to spot them out and execute them with relative ease, especially with Drace having his position here behind the ammo cases. Stray gets the walk from the corridor, successfully knocks out STK. Pinkata now sits alone, and a nice one tap from Drace finishes off his last opponent, giving the round over to ruLegends again.
Things looking a bit grim now for INTZ as ruLegends continues to steamroll forward on their blacklist half. One of the best we've seen out of them so far on their offensive halves, and this is where INTZ has to step up and try and find a way to shut them down quickly, because this map is looking further and further in favor of ruLegends every single round. Falling against them here, INTZ only with 1 to answer back so far in the defensive half of Mexico. Definitely not something you want to have in this situation, but still, The time left to recover is there. A 5-4 half possible if they show us perfection to close out this first half.
So time will continue to tick down as ruLegends again look for their initiation route to get themselves towards the site. It's the same setup. Slow play. We do have 2 players experimenting a little bit more with water this time, though, as you can see. Stray's joined by another teammate. I believe we'll be working with Treek in this avenue, or to try and make some presence happen. And thankfully, the nade they chucked out was pretty well placed. Knocked a good 20 to 30 HP off both STK and Vinny to make the upcoming fight, hopefully, a little bit easier.
And now we are going to see a slow execution here over towards that A bomb site. Vase popping that mid-smoke out from the alley bridge. STK, though, in the key position really to hold this one off with Vinny playing a cross setup from the forklift. But right now, ruLegends hesitating a little bit here, but they're setting up the execution nades to try and work their way in. Here's the attack, though. Vinny and STK, are they ready here? STK surely is with the big triple kill to hold things off, and he's not done just yet. Tries to find another, but Stray going to find one onto STK. The trade not through just yet, but Pankata does take Treek down. It's going to be Stray left alone in a 1v3 here.
Stray still going to try his best to close things down for ruLegends. He did drop the bomb after all. He's locked into a corner where he can be spotted out. And it's not too much of an effort to eliminate him, netting INTZ their second round of the map. And now starting another potential comeback for them. We'll see if ruLegends can try to shut this down quickly, though. That's exactly what happened in the previous round where we saw INTZ getting themselves onto the board. INTZ are taking initiative this time, though. Early nades. Attempt to hold ruLegends back. That's just going to be them posturing up, though. They'll leave one player somewhat in position to watch out for this. Is Treek, meanwhile, that's gotten incredibly aggressive with one of his teammates trying to push all the way out through the back alley and early on towards A. The shot will miss, though. No connection will be made on anyone from INTZ, and they'll fall back into safe positions to not be caught off guard by this.
INTZ, though, they need each and every round left remaining in the half to really feel comfortable going into the next half. If ruLegends pick up a 5th round, that would guarantee them the half win, and that is not something you want to see go against you on your global risk side of Mexico. INTZ going to be trying to close this one out confidently, but right now ruLegends, they've controlled the pace of this match quite well. A night and day change to the way they execute on these bomb sites here on Mexico, and this could be all the difference they need to take themselves right into the finals here against Black Dragons. We'll see if they can make that happen, though. INTZ playing very reserved in this round, giving up mid-control for one of the first times we've seen out of them, playing 2B, 1 on the backside of water and 2 over towards A. We'll see if they can hold it out, though.
It's kind of that slow wind-up again from ruLegends. Thankfully, still over a minute on the clock, so plenty of time to make it work. It's a push from INTZ and specifically NNM that tries to find impact, but it will not work. Akemi further back on the site also falls relatively quickly too, and Pankata can only go 1 for 1. Decisive entries being made again, and Treek with a nice follow-up, a no-scope from him to knock out STK, leaves only Vinny in the fight, and it's not long before he falls either. Immediate retake of the map control is given once again over to ruLegends as they've got the ball rolling, and it shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. Only 2 rounds left in this half as well, so INTZ absolutely have to try and find impact here. And it looks like they're going to try to do it at mid with a pretty massive stack in the shadow corner.
You can see the plays they're bringing out. They know they need to grab at least one of these last 2 rounds. In the shoes of INTZ right now, things not looking the best, but they could be even worse if this half goes to a 7-2 finish. There is still a glimpse of hope here for INTZ to fight their way back into this one, but right now, ruLegends, every single player firing across the board exactly how they need to close out these rounds. INTZ facing the Wrath here, trying to hold on for dear life, but right now, they could still make this a 5-4 half. Pankata tries to make that happen, gets himself the first frag. Vase trades it out. Akemi finds one in mid, though. Executor goes down. Things still looking good as Akemi picks up a nice double kill there to keep things moving forward. Drace finds one through the edge of the smoke, and it's going to be down to a 3-on-2 now.
2 for ruLegends. Thankfully, they've got themselves grouped together, and once more, the C4 has not been lost. They still have that to carry through. They can quickly try to change up their position and wrap back around over towards the B site, which I think is going to be the intended goal for them now. They'll drop that down into water, start to make their push forward out into mid. INTZ does await, though not as actively as you might think. NNM really only going to be here but around the corner. He'll make the play out. Both of them make the push, but it's Drace holding on strong, bringing us down into a 1v1. Hasn't spotted STK yet, but he is going to see him in a moment. Pulls out his knife to quickly battle away from that battle and rush through the corridor to open up a quick plant opportunity. He'll prioritize that over everything else. C4 goes onto the ground. STK, meanwhile, sat still. Wanted to wait down the timer and see what exactly Drace wanted to do. That's become all too obvious. He'll now take the battle, take his way through the GR spawn. Actually allow for Drace to close this out. He's going for shots through the ammo cases. He's not finding impact though. STK actually finding impact through it instead, and he'll be able to close down the 1v1, giving the round over to INTZ. A third for them to work off of as we switch sides.
A huge round to go their way here, and right now, ruLegends, they know they probably could have won that round, but they're still very comfortable with where they stand here, as that third round does go over to INTZ. 1 round left now in the half to try and make some more impact here for INTZ before things get too far out of reach. But ruLegends, they could still make this a 6-3 blacklist half, and that would be one of the best aggressive sides we've seen out of them so far, and honestly, one of the better blacklist halves we've seen on Mexico overall as well. Meanwhile, INTZ looking for round number 4 here. A lot of pressure coming out onto this A bomb site. A nice nade, once again doing some damage there onto STK and Vinny to get things started for ruLegends.
ruLegends in the meanwhile, as we take a look at what exactly they're going to be looking towards in this round. It's again a heavy favorite to push themselves over through the alley and into the A site from there. It's only one player, Treek, in position to do that. The rest are established just by that mid-bridge, waiting to try and push in and, more importantly, push out the pressure that's more directly contested from A and is present from INTZ at the moment.
INTZ looking for that opening to try and close this half in a little bit closer of a fashion than it started here. ruLegends, they had a commanding lead, but it could narrow to just a single round here to make this half a very close one indeed going into the second. And rightfully so, it is our semifinals here. Skewer, though, and Pinkata go into a huge engage here, but ruLegends, they respond back nicely. Treek with the double, Vice with the triple kill. What was that? Insane work from ruLegends, and you can see it on their faces. They're almost impressed with themselves after that one, but what a way to end this half.
A 6-3 will be the way the scoreline goes as we now complete that final round. And it's ruLegends that certainly control this map to a massive degree. With that heavy of a lead coming off of their blacklist side, as long as things start off well for them, on to the beginning of the second half, at the beginning of their global risk side, they will be in fantastic shape to try and close down this map in a relatively quick fashion.
This is the perfect position for them. They know they only need 4 rounds on what should feel like the easier side of the map. But when you're in this situation in the semifinals, you cannot let your guard down and assume it's over until you've secured those rounds and made yourself through as that official team to make it into the grand finals. ruLegends, all they have to do is play methodically and avoid simple mistakes here, and they should be in a great position. But INTZ, this is their chance to show the world that there is still hope for that all-Brazilian grand final to take place. INTZ, the last hope here to make that happen. We'll see if they can make it a reality here. Still 3-6 as we start off the second half. An uphill battle, to say the least, here for INTZ. We'll see if they're up for the task.
ruLegends, in the meanwhile, want to try and crush INTZ, it looks like, with the setup they've got at mid. We'll see how that boils over in a moment. They want to actively contest and take them out before they can even really start their execute. For INTZ, the pressure is not necessarily as heavy in mid as we've seen before. It's definitely leaning a little bit more towards the alleyway. And we can see examples of that now as they've already moved a few players forward. Kemi, and STK into position now to swing out on towards A. For ruLegends, though, they still have that active presence established at mid, which has not been dealt with by INTZ, but they don't seem to care too much about that. It does look like that INTZ are going to go directly for the play on A. Or to clear out mid first here.
ruLegends, though, playing patiently, even though they are pushed up very forward in mid and A. They're just waiting for the execution to come through, putting all of this opening round pressure onto INTZ. But Pinkata gets the triple kill peek out. ruLegends completely crumble under the pressure. Skewer finds one to answer back, but that's not going to be enough. He goes down to STK, and it's going to be Treek in a 1v4 situation now, looking for some sort of life in this round. But it may not be found just yet. He does find one, but the trade quickly comes through. And INTZ feeling that confidence. Look at Pinkata now. Definitely the confidence they needed to start this half off.
Feeling it indeed, and now a good chance for them to get back into the map early. Slow lead up to be sure, but an explosive ending to the first round of the second half of this final map. Our semifinals for CROSSFIRE Stars 2018. INTZ, once again, the storyline here so far, them looking to make it over to the grand finals and set up our first ever all-Brazilian CFS grand final. ruLegends looking to move onward and challenge Black Dragons, who just took out the only remaining Chinese team that had made it all the way to the semifinals. And of course, Black Dragons making history themselves by being the first team to stop the Chinese from getting to that grand final.
INTZ, though, looking to get the momentum on their side here and make their blacklist half of Mexico one to be remembered. The ruLegends just 4 away from victory here in this best of 3. All they have to do is hold on and have a solid defense, as we saw earlier in the day from them against AG. They have such a strong defense, but right now, INTZ, they have found ways to break through it so far, Pencada being the one to find those openings in the previous round. If he can continue that forward, it still could be a difficult task for ruLegends to close this out.
INTZ, once again, we'll continue to run down the timer. We'll continue to play this slowly, as we've really come to expect on Mexico here. No real rush on the execute from them, but just expect a big, explosive ending to the round. ruLegends are going to be positioned around the corner. Counterflash is actually coming in a good time for ruLegend, but is it enough to shut down the hold? Seems to be the case. The hold into what is now a 3v1, and that player is eliminated very quickly as well. A decisive hold in mid from ruLegends as they quickly reassert control after the first round goes by the way of INTZ.
And ruLegends slowly but surely closing in on a match victory here, and now they have everything they need to make that happen. The opening round for themselves taken in round number 2 here of this half, very early on from what INTZ was probably hoping for to get some momentum back on their side. It's just going to be one and done for them so far on their blacklist side of the map. Down by 3 here, trying to find their way back into it, but stray in mid in that previous round. A triple kill to hold things off, making things extremely difficult here for INTZ to try and move forward. Still, there is time for the recovery to happen, but ruLegends feeling so comfortable and so confident here to try and close this one out. They know they have everything in store to make that happen, but INTZ looking to try and push the envelope a little bit further here and see what they can do to try and bring this one back into their hands.
It's going to be that slow wind-up. ruLegends not showing any sign of trying to get creative by flanking onto these players. INTZ also refusing to experiment with other options at this point. Still early days in the second half of the map now. So they are going to continue to play into that usual strategy of posturing up for control towards mid, using some of your utility to push players outside of the shadow corner, and then eventually push onto the A site from there. No play towards B just yet coming in from INTZ as they are looking to take a choke angle approach to this to give them a better hope of finding those consistent entries against ruLegends.
And it looks like we are going to see a full A execution coming out. Xskewer, though, playing with that flashbang in hand, could stall this push a bit. But right now, he has to be careful. They're already storming the front here. INTZ successfully make their way into the bomb site. Everyone just falling one after another on this bomb site. And somehow INTZ are still alive here. NNM just barely on a sliver of HP there. Vase and Treek now left to retake. 3-on-2. Akemi and STK going down on the execution. Still things looking good for INTZ here in this situation. They do have the man advantage. Make it a 2-man advantage as Vinny finds Treek. It's going to be Vase left in a 1v3 situation, but a nice headshot gets things started, and both remaining players are super low on HP in this situation. Vase with the chance to make this happen just yet. Finds the second. Can he get the third? It's not going to happen, though. NNM saves the day there for INTZ from what looked like a potential 1v3 clutch.
INTZ will hold on. We'll keep the battle going. And more importantly, inch closer and closer to trying to tie this back up once again. 5-7 will now be the scoreline. ruLegends still in control, but seemingly less and less so as we get further into this second half. INTZ still choosing to take the same route about their execution, though. And ruLegends actually wanted to get a little bit aggressive about it this time to try and shut them down early. They knew they couldn't hold off against the full force of the pressure from INTZ when they rushed themselves out alleys. They want to try and stunt it before it even becomes an issue this time. Thankfully for INTZ, they realized this could be a possibility. So they decided to hold back a little bit further towards the bridge in the alleyway and wait for ruLegends to make the aggressive first move.
And this is a solid adjustment coming out from ruLegends. When the control plays aren't working, you have to play a bit more reserved and just hold on to these choke points. I like the adjustments they've made here, and maybe it's just enough to get the job done and find round number 8. But INTZ, they've been adapting quite well themselves, learning how to break through these defenses from ruLegends and grab control of the map on their own. But right now, they are very far back, sitting towards their spawn, looking for the water rotation, but they will be running into some trouble here. It's going to be Treek and Drace with a nice crossfire setup right outside for them to try and deal with here.
INTZ innovating a little bit now as they are going to put the pressure more so from water position to work their way out onto B instead. Out they're going to go. It's going I realize quite a few of the players from ruLegends are here, though. A double and now triple kill. Nicely done as Treek picks up a triple kill for him and leaves only STK in the fight. He won't last too long either. Executor knocks him out. And that does put the guys on ruLegends back in control once again now at 5-8. 2 more rounds stand between ruLegends and a spot at CFS 2018's Grand Final.
2 more rounds indeed here. INTZ looking to try and fight their way back to the tie, but right now ruLegends seem like they may have everything in place to close this one out and take a 2-1 victory here today against INTZ and upset the possibility of an all-Brazilian finals here for CFS 2018. ruLegends, though, a team we've seen up and down throughout this entire tournament, but right now all they need is 2 solid rounds to make themselves our second finalist here right now. INTZ, though, the hope's still alive. We'll see if they can find the adjustments they need to put 3 more rounds on and bring us to a tie, or maybe even just 5 in a row here to take this one 10-8. The possibility's still there, but on the blacklist side of Mexico, not something we see all too often here.
Well, as we come to expect, it's a slow windup from INTZ. Pressure will be taken over here towards the alley by the jump-up boxes and the bridge. Lead them over into mid where they could more actively contest against ruLegends. As we saw in the last round, they're going to do this once again. It's Executor along with one of his teammates that will take up positions. The problem is, though, INTZ go for more active mid presence. Treek tries to escape and it won't work. N&M runs through both of the players set up here for ruLegends, and they're not going to follow this through for a quick take onto the B site. Stray is able to cut one off, and a second now as Executor finds it as well. Akemi able to trade one back, puts us into a 2 versus 3, but the most important factor of this, the C4 is put on the ground. Oh, at the end of the day, though, INTZ just crunched back for control of that C4, and it didn't seem like ruLegends were ready for such an aggressive play.
They definitely were not prepared in that situation. They put so much focus in preparing to hold off that A push that little did they know INTZ was just going to rush through mid and go for the B from Arch's take, and it just doesn't work in favor of ruLegends that time around. But INTZ still need 2 just to bring this one to a tie. ruLegends still in control of the match, but it's not over just yet. They've got to have these last 2 rounds go their way in order to officially close this one out and find themselves in a match victory position. But still, INTZ, they see the opportunity now to fight their way back in and take this match back into their hands as well. INTZ starting to get a little bit more confident on their aggression as well, going into mid here, looking for the openings. But right now, we do see Treek playing a bit more reserved here on the backside of the quad boxes, hoping that someone gets almost too aggressive here in mid.
Well, it's going to be INTZ. Continue to play the slow game once again. Holding back just on the outskirts of the alleyway. Waiting for opportunity to present itself to make their first move. They know it's not going to come to them, though, so good grenades are chucked out. Should have done some okay damage to Stray, and indeed it does. Knocks out just over half of his HP. He's still going to be in position to take the fight. Unfortunately, the smoke prevents vision, so we'll see Vinny and N&M push directly past this smoke setup over to the other side of mid, where they will find out there's a lack of presence this time around from ruLegends. They focus much more on the sites. So they are going to hand over mid control this time to INTZ. A nice boost, though, puts Vinny up on top of the boxes and catches Treek off guard. None the wiser to the push there. Move in for more here and try to pinch over towards B once again. I think ruLegends are aware of it this time, but it still does not seem to matter. You can see Drace moving forward. He'll only be able to put a 1-for-1 together, though. And Penkata finding another quick pickup leaves only Stray alive in the 1v4.
A very difficult situation to get out of. Stray, not likely to make it happen, will go down here. A 7th round now on the board for INTZ, starting to make things work now on their blacklist side. And ruLegends maybe crumbling a little bit under this pressure here of closing out this match and truly positioning themselves into that grand final. But still, ruLegends up by 1 round. INTZ, though, knows the weakness is starting to occur. The momentum on their side as well. But ruLegends, got to be careful on this one. They've let it slip, but a bit too far, and they could be out still.
Well, the same play coming out from INTZ once again. Their players are going to be positioned back. Actually, they'll, for the first time in a while, completely abandon that alt mid hold that we saw them go for time after time again, and it's pretty much been a constant staple. They're going to go through water for the first time in a while. It's going to be all 5 players committing to this too. ruLegends got to be ready for a surprise. As finally, INTZ is going to decide to shake things up a little bit on this round.
Here we have it. It is going to be Vase and Drace on the hold. Can they make it happen, though? It's just going to be a 1-for-1 so far. But Drace, they haven't spotted him in this position here. He's going to find the double kill to answer back. Looks for the triple, but has to reload here. Vinny takes down Executor, and it's all on Drace here in the 1-on-2. Finds the first, looks for the second, tries to make it happen with the Colt, but it's not enough. 3 bullets in the AK, can't find the kill. 1 in the Colt, not enough to get it done either. Drace, though, nice HP advantage here. He's going to peek wide with the Colt. He makes it happen. What a play. 1v2, Colt in hand. And that's going to take us to match point here. ruLegends now leads it 9-7.
Right when we needed a hero play, we got one. Drace showing up in massive form for ruLegends, working with limited ammo, limited HP, and an outnumbered situation. But he still comes out on top, closing out the 9th round for ruLegends. INTZ now need 2 in a row in order to take this to overtime. For ruLegends, only 1 is going to be standing between them and a position at the CFS 2018 Grand Finals. Slow play on the opener again from INTZ for this round, as their players are going to be split up across the map. Still heavy favorite, of course, towards the alleyway, but because ruLegends are not playing aggressively at all, we won't see much contention early on in the round.
And now we can see ruLegends playing exactly how they need to in this situation. They've given up mid completely, and they're going to be playing only to hold these bomb sites. I like the decision here. Put all of the pressure onto INTZ. They only need one of these 2 rounds to go their way, and INTZ has to open them up all on their own, already using a little bit too much utility to try and take control of mid. Little do they know, there's nobody playing anywhere forward on this round. It's just going to be ruLegends playing 3 towards A. The passive stack here, 1 B and 1 outside of water, but INTZ, this could be a huge mistake, going 3 up alley potentially here. They seem very keen on taking attacks on this position.
Hikata might have to take the initiative for INTZ if they decide to push themselves through the alleyway. And that seems like it's going to be the case. Executor and his teammate await as the push comes in. It's going to be a 2-for-1 exchange in the favor of ruLegends. Stray will work himself back into the site, awaiting for the mid push to work its way out. Drace, meanwhile, has caught STK, trying to sneak his way through water. And unfortunately, he doesn't seem too keen on continuing that push now that he's been spotted out. He'll fall back, wrap around, I believe, to group up with the rest of his teammates. Try to make one last solidified push either through the alleyway or through mid to get access to the A site. Smoke's faded away, so finally the option is presented for these guys to do it, but they do not have any time whatsoever in order to get onto that site. Under 30 seconds now, INTZ are truly going to stress the timer, and they cannot sit back. We've seen this be a constant issue. Teams just waiting for their opponents to make mistakes. They need to take the initiative. In they're going to go. STK starts it off well. Trade comes in from Stray, but it's traded right back. Vinny holds on, actually, and it's brought down to Treek now. A 1v2, a winnable one at that, though, but he's taking some very aggressive duels early on. This aggressive push into the open. He knows he's got positions of both Kenny and Vinny. The flash will connect beautifully onto him, still takes the battle, and finds great damage onto Akemi. Again, he's going to be forced to make a play. The counter flash is good. Blinds at Akemi. Unfortunately, doesn't give him the room he needs to be able to fully knock out Vinny, so he'll be forced to go behind the triple boxes. The push comes out from both, and they will shut it down, sending us to a full-time round. One final round to decide if it's overtime or a push for ruLegends to move through into the grand finals.
What an intense way for this one to come down to, but at the end of the day, they still need this one final round to take us into overtime. ruLegends looking to cancel that dream here and take it 10-8 and finalize their series score on top, but still, there is that time for INTZ to make this happen. They've had a lot of success here for their Blacklist half. The way things started, it didn't look like there'd even be a glimpse of hope here, but INTZ can see the light here, and they have a chance to make the dream of an all-Brazilian final a reality. ruLegends, though, playing very safe, but this time they are going for forward mid control to make sure they hold these choke points a bit more aggressively, so there is no opening for INTZ to find their way into a late round victory.
It's going to be INTZ pulling back from the alley relatively early, however, only to re-aggress seconds later. Move their way in, bring a lot of pressure forward, unfortunately not to a whole lot of impact here. Stray did find himself taking damage earlier on from an HA grenade as well, but it's not going to be much of an impact. Only 1 or 2 chips, excuse me, going off of his HP. He'll still remain at a relatively strong point to continue this round. INTZ, though, again, no initiative being taken at the beginning of the round. They continue to drain that timer away, hoping ruLegends try something crazy. They haven't done it at all in this entire match so far. It would be a strange far cry if we suddenly decided to see it now on the final round of regulation for this series. INTZ will be bursting to the outside of Alley, and this is what has moved away from ruLegends. They've had a much more active presence here in previous rounds. This time, it's non-existent, so they can potentially allow for INTZ to walk right in.
Stray, though, gets the flick to start this one off. Vase finds another. The shutdown's coming through, but it's not over just yet. Stray finds one. It's all on STK to try and keep the dream alive here. An all-Brazilian final on the line. STK, the last hope to make that happen here. ruLegends looking for the 10-8 victory, but it's all on STK to try and shut them down here. 1v3. He finds the first, though. What a headshot there. Stray and Drace go for the double peek, and it's all over. 10-8. ruLegends seal the deal on their trip to the CFS 2018 finals. They will be facing off against Black Dragons, but what a way for this one to end. The all-Brazilian finals dream is shut down. You can see the devastation there on INTZ. They look very disappointed, but at the end of the day, these guys played incredibly and shouldn't be too disappointed in their overall performance here, but it is a shame they weren't able to make it all the way.
So close to a comeback, but at the end of the day, they are not able to salvage it and send it to overtime. So we do see the Brazilians fall. They'll have to move into that third place match against the previous world champions. Instead, we will see our second team not be a Brazilian finalist, but instead it'll be the Russians that move forward to the grand finals to face off against the Black Dragons in our grand finals on Sunday. Congratulations, as we will be seeing them move forward.
Well, as we make history here at CFS 2018, a grand final with no Chinese team present, we'll see the Russians up against the Brazilians. And after those matches, all of them going through to the best of three, overtime in each as well. It doesn't get much closer than that. Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, really just one of the best performances we've seen out of these guys so far on ruLegends. I didn't expect them to play as well as they really did there. I think on map number 2, that's what really struck for me as a chance for them to bring it back. Map 3, I think I kind of favored them to win, but that map 2 performance to bring it in and the way they closed it here, just everyone stepped up to make this a reality for ruLegends.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering, Blue, that they started off a map down as well. That's the most impressive part. The start was not the start that they wanted, and we were theorizing that maybe on map 2 that was going to be the end of ruLegends here.
Yeah, very much the case. It was looking incredibly one-sided for INTZ coming off of our first map, but ruLegends did a great job of turning it back around. And I think they locked into the winning strategy, which is don't sit back, don't play passively when you're on that attacking side. Take the initiative, move in and take fights. Oftentimes, that's what decided who won out the rounds, and it seems like in our second and third maps, it was oftentimes ruLegends doing that. They were innovating, they were changing up their strats a lot more, and as a result of that, they were able to close out far more rounds on their blacklist sides.
And it feels to me that ruLegends finally, they found their form at the right time here. They've locked themselves a slot in the grand final. They've locked themselves a slot up against Black Dragons, and well, that is going to be one heck of a game on Sunday, that is for sure. All 4 of our semi-finalist teams will, however, be traveling to Nanjing with us. We're going to have a third, fourth place match before our grand final. Everyone still playing for some big money here, Kyle.
Yeah, a lot still on the line for all of these 4 teams. That third place match still going to decide a lot of difference in the money, but at the end of the day, we have 2 new teams from 2 new regions fighting for the representation as the champions here for the first time ever. It will be a non-Chinese team, but looking at that MVP there real quick, Drace, what a performance in that match.
Yeah, very well played from him, and I think they needed that in the end as well. The momentum coming out from the Russian team up against this team from Brazil. It's a little bit sad here for INTZ, who, to be fair, really had such an impressive CFS 2018. They really did much better than I think many people thought they would do, and they should be very, very proud of that.
Yeah, when you look at the fact that they were absent for the last 3 to 4 years, and this is their first time back on the circuit in a while, they did amazingly well. They came out with some amazing upsets at the start of their group stage, continued that storyline going all the way through up to the semifinals, and came so close to being able to shut out the Russians here in the semis, but unfortunately just barely fell short on the third map.
Yeah, look, I'm sure it's disappointing for them at the end of the day, but you really have to say congratulations still to INTZ. A great performance across the board, and good luck in your third, fourth place match when we do get to Nanjing. But now the conversation really is all about that grand final. The team from Brazil up against the team from Russia. I honestly don't know at this point who I expect to win. Every time I've had an expectation, it's been flipped upside down, and we've had the different result. Both of these teams have played so very well across the last 3 days. Both of these teams are capable of winning.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I think ruLegends showed us really what they're made of today. Before today, they looked a little bit shaky. A lot of people weren't even sure if they were going to make it this far, but now we've seen them step up, get rid of that nervousness, and have some solid performances across the board from every individual. And I think Black Dragon still has their work cut out for them to make this happen.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. As we take a look at our tournament stage and, well, that grand final, Black Dragons up against ruLegends. So many surprises. Q9 going down, Super Valiant going down, All Gamers going down. Honestly, it's incredible results. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. If you got that in the pick'ems that you're playing at home, then there's something wrong with you, because I don't think that was a possible guess coming into this one, Blue. That's very surprising results.
No, very much is the CFS of upsets this year.
Yeah.
So it's seen to be the case throughout the group stages, the quarters, the semis, going all the way. And again, no one really expected all the Chinese teams to fall in such decisive manners as well.
Yeah, for me, it's not about maybe the Chinese teams not playing as well as they could. For me, it's about seeing the teams from around the world playing out of their minds, improving from 2017 across to 2018. It just goes to show just how good a spot CFS is in globally.
Yeah, it's really a unique time now. There's all these regions that have finally risen up to the occasion and taken down these Chinese powerhouse teams, and now we will finally indeed have a new champion here, which is going to be exciting to see. Both regions never holding that trophy before, and now one of them finally gets that opportunity.
The question is, who wants it more? We've got the Brazilians with a very passionate group of fans, along with the Russians as well. But let's throw it over to the stage for an interview.
Making it there in a very, very close contest. Commiserations to INTZ, who fall at the very last hurdle. Such an amazing game. We'll have a chat here with Alexis, who's in our final. So during that game, particularly as the end, got 9-7 right at the end, and then that 10th round. It was so close, so well fought by both teams. Was there a time you were worried you weren't going to win and you were going to miss out on the final?
В течение всей игры был очень равный счет 10-7, 10-6. И волновались ли вы? И в какой момент ты подумал, что этот момент, господи, что вы проиграете?
No, we don't have this moment. We always think we will win this game. And I will translate for Russian. У нас не было момента, что мы думали, что мы проиграем эту игру. Мы знали, что мы плохо начали, и все. Мы знали, что мы победим.
Always thought you would win. What about before this tournament began? Back a few days ago, you were flying out to China to compete into this. For many people, you were one of the favorite teams. I had you picked as one of the favorites. This could be your year. Did you think coming here, we will win the whole thing? We will make the final, we'll win the whole thing.
Вы летели сюда 2 дня, и думали ли вы, что вы выйдете в финал?
Honestly, we don't think like that. Our minimal goal was make a group, and we will see how we will play. So, мы не думали, что мы дойдем до финала. Наша была цель просто выйти из группы, потому что мы знали, что мы первый раз на лане в этом году.
So I must ask you then, if you didn't think you'd make it here, how you feel right now? You're in the World Championship. You could lift the trophy. You could be the best in the world. How do you feel right now, Alexis?
Как себя чувствуешь сейчас?
So I'm very happy. I have no words how to explain you what I feel here, and I hope we will play good in final.
You've got Black Dragons. You've just beat INTZ. How do you think the two compare? How do you fancy playing Black Dragons?
These both teams were very similar play style, and I very respect team Black Dragons. We always practice against them, and it's a very strong team and very good team. So it will be a great final.
It will be a great final. One more thing, Alexei, you say you haven't got the words to tell us how you're feeling, but maybe in Russian you might have some words for the people who helped you get here.
At first, I want to say thanks a lot Chinese fans, because a lot of Chinese fans writing me on WeChat, and English fans, I don't know.
little bit nervous. И я бы хотел поблагодарить российских фанатов, которые и всех, кто смотрит нас. Я знаю, нас много русских сейчас смотрит. Ну, мы наконец-то прошли финал. Посмотрим, что мы сможем в финале добиться. Так вот, всем спасибо большое.
It's coming. Our grand final will be with us on Sunday, and it will feature ruLegends. Congratulations to all of your team, and they will play Black Dragons for the World Championship. Now that's coming to you live from Nanjing on Sunday. Before that, we're going to take tomorrow as we move from here at VSPN Studios in Taichung. We go to Nanjing tomorrow. So no CFS 2018 tomorrow. Take a break. Get yourselves ready. On Saturday, we will be live to you with CROSSFIRE HD, the new zone released here in China. We'll have a whole day of tournaments with 4 incredible teams to show you CROSSFIRE HD. Then on Sunday, it's CROSSFIRE Legends. 4 more teams fighting out in that throughout the whole day, as well as our 3rd and 4th place match, which will feature Super Valiant Gaming against INTZ, and then the World Championship final with you in it. ruLegends and Black Dragons for the world title. That's coming to you on Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us here in Taichung. I've been Matt Andrews. Thanks to everybody who's helped us put on the groups, the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. World Championship Day on Sunday. Before that, CROSSFIRE HD on Saturday. Don't miss it and join us then.